Gaina Trucking has a strong team culture, competitive pay, 401ks, and benefits like health, dental, and vision. Drivers are guaranteed 40 hours per week, even in the winter months, and are home every night. Start your career today at Gaina Trucking and Excavating. Apply today at GainaTrucking.com.
Graham Tire presents life's greatest adventures.
Okay, buddy, here we go. Just keep your eye on the ball. All right, just swing right through it. Yeah, good job. Way to go. Hey, run it out. Okay.
Great road trips start with great service. Graham Tire, your tire store next door, with 5 convenient Lincoln locations, getting you to the places that matter most.
Bagels & Joe is the best place to start off your mornings this summer, and you can order your breakfast ahead of time on their app. This summer's cream cheese flavor is pickle. Pair it with a blueberry cobbler iced latte, and don't forget their Berry Breeze dirty soda. Stop by any of their 4 locations in Lincoln and their location in Seward. Bagels & Joe.
Your line just went down. Production stopped. A supervisor wants answers, and someone's digging through a binder for the maintenance history. Every one of those minutes costs money, and most of the time, that breakdown could have been prevented. That's where MaintainX comes in. MaintainX catches the failure before it happens. Preventive maintenance plans on every key asset to improve reliability. Work orders assigned and tracked right from your phone. Everyone from the floor to the front office is in the loop. Real-time dashboards give managers instant visibility into what's been completed, what's overdue, and where the bottlenecks are. No more guesswork. Just a smarter, faster maintenance operation. Companies on MaintainX have cut unplanned downtime by over 30% and saved thousands on parts and labor every year. See what it can do for your operation. Try MaintainX free at maintainx.com.
Select Plumbing and Utility has been serving Lincoln and the surrounding area for 14 years, and they're not slowing down. Select Plumbing and Utility handles all your plumbing needs, from faucets and water heaters to full renovations, and they can even help with your heating and cooling needs. They're also Lincoln's underground experts, repairing and replacing broken underground water and sewer lines since day one. Contact Select Plumbing and Utility today at 402-560-6197, assuring excellence in every situation, opportunity, and challenge. That's 402-560-6197.
Several irrigation contractors in Lincoln go out of business every year, leaving sprinkler system orphans begging for service. The folks at Judson Irrigation shed a tear for these little fellas. They've been coddling these orphans for more than 40 years. From redesign, repairing, replacing, and restoring, remember the Judson Irrigation Orphanage.
Call the Judson Irrigation Orphanage 402-420-6277 or judsonirrigation.com.
When Nebraska businesses win, we all win. And the Nebraska Chamber is helping make that happen. Tackling the tough stuff like job creation, affordable and accessible childcare, and building a stronger workforce. We're stepping up so local businesses can step forward. If you want to see Nebraska keep growing, keep competing, and keep winning, get connected with the Nebraska Chamber of Commerce and Industry. Learn more at nechamber.com.
Rico here with HIS Auto Care at 70th and Van Dorn, letting you know HIS is a great place to bring your vehicle for service. With superior service bumper to bumper, we'll treat your vehicle like it's your mother's. Doesn't get any better than that. So call 402-488-8934 and HIS Auto will make you glad you did. 5% off, mention this ad, and for sure your mother will be proud you called. 402-488-8934, HIS Auto Care, 70th and Van Dorn. God bless you.
Coming at you live from the heart of downtown Lincoln, this is Old School with Foreman and Orman. Old School with Foreman and Orman is sponsored by Graham Tire Company of Lincoln, Nebraska Football Hall of Famer Jay Foreman.
Here's Troy Detmer dropping straight back in the pocket. Rifles a pass. It was tipped. It's picked off by Foreman. He's at the 15, 10, 5. He'll score! Foreman got it, and it's touchdown Huskers.
Black shirts answer the call one more time.
And Austin Orman. Hour one of Old School is sponsored by Heartland of Nebraska Windows. Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
That's right. Welcome in. It is a Wednesday edition of Old School. Austin Orman, Jay Foreman with you on 93.7 Ticket and theticketfm.com. Appreciate everyone dialing up the show here on a little rainy, overcast Wednesday morning in the capital city. That's all right. We got lots to get to on a beautiful gray Wednesday. Big thank you to Graham Tire Company for their sponsorship of the show. You can check them out all across Lincoln and the greater Midwest area. And we got to get to this from Denny in Mobile. No respect for the other shows. You guys wouldn't go long. That's right.
Are you talking about early break?
Yeah, early break.
Man, they like bullies, but you know what happens with bullies?
You got to stand up to them, right?
Oh, you got to go see them. I got something for old Jake.
That's just the thing, is that we're still establishing ourselves in this this morning time slot. And so
we're going to stand on business.
We are, and that's the thing. We've got to find our footing. We're working there.
Hey, you know what? That's just a new segment, and I don't want Jake to try to steal it and sell it to one of the 85 sponsors he's been hogging. Yeah, I'm on one today.
Okay, we're on one.
We're gonna have the player that's stand on business segment, both in the Big Ten, NFL, and obviously Nebraska,
and apparently in the station too.
Well, that's me.
Well, always. But who else needs to stand on business? I mean, you're just default,
Farley,
right?
Lil Farley.
Yeah, where's he been?
He need to tighten up. Last time I seen him, he needs to tighten up. If you see Farley, tell him, look at this, Austin. I was doing some breakdown.
Oh, yeah. There it is. There it is.
Yeah.
There it is.
But
that's good stuff.
Yeah, Farley need to stand on. He need to tighten up a little bit. That's my boy though, but he need to tighten up.
Well, because he's your boy, you get to tell him to tighten up. If he's not your boy, he wouldn't listen to you about tightening up.
No,
and he still might.
He ain't
because
gonna
he's
listen.
Farley, but
that's my dog though.
One-eyed Ray, Jake needs to be held accountable. Preaching to the choir. Denny Mobile says, "Go get him, Austin and Jay." Yeah, we're working on it, right? But we got this to handle first.
It's hump day.
It is hump day.
Yeah,
getting over the hump every week, thanks to Graham Tire. Jay, lots to get to from Nebraska defensive coordinator Rob Orich. Heard from him yesterday, and safeties coach Tyler Yelks. We'll get to that here in the first hour. Some stand-on business players, some prove-it players for Nebraska football. The World Herald came out with their list. We'll see what we agree with and what we don't. It was a big day for purple yesterday. Kyler Murray named QB1 in Minnesota, and Northwestern got a heck of a donation over the course of the next 5 years.
And the kids on the team.
Oh, yeah.
Big granddad or something. Is it the dad that got that money?
Must be. Yeah. We'll dive into that.
But he's a defensive captain, too.
He is.
That Yulin last name, I think there was a good golfer that played Oklahoma State. That he was like really good, and maybe that's some kinfolk. They must got. You need to start cloning them. You need to start cloning them dudes, man. 35 mil.
How they get to a year and a half in college football?
Man, you better watch out. Listen, Northwestern said, "Listen, look, everybody think we need to get jettisoned out of this like Power Four or the go to power conferences, the have and have nots. We're here." They saw Vanderbilt, the other smart school, turning around. It was all call to arms. It actually wasn't all call to arms. It was all call to a checkbook.
Right.
It went out in the secret email. When you get the little beeper, oh, yeah, I got to go check this email. Yeah, you guys need to step up. And so they did.
Really, there's one smart school that needs to step it up right now, and that's Stanford.
Yeah.
Because Georgia Tech might be back. Now, Nebraska's still its offensive line coach, so we'll see. Basketball's okay. I like the coach they hired.
Yeah, I think that Georgia Tech's on their way back.
So Stanford.
Stanford's Stanford was there, and then ever since David Shaw has been gone. But I think they might come back a little. They showed some life a little bit with Andrew Luck there. I think they might be kind of on the uptick. I like what they're. I like in theory what they're trying to do. It might be a little bit harder because they're the logistics.
Yeah. But even baseball is just so-so. Basketball, again, I like to hire, but hasn't paid dividends yet. But they're an everything school.
Didn't they just have a guy get drafted in the first round like a couple years ago?
That Ibuka Okori guy. Yeah, he was good.
Yeah, so I mean,
that was it.
But still,
the Lopez brothers ain't walking through that door.
No, they ain't. No. But to have a first round pick, that's pretty good for Stanford.
Tell that to Rutgers too, though. They had two of them.
That's true.
They had two top five.
That's
top
true,
six.
Man. Well, who's that coach, man? Is he still
Steve
employed?
Peichel? Oh, yeah. Yeah. Steve Peichel and Greg Schiano are very similar.
Greg Schiano is a great look-see into, this is what I talked about LeBron, where you did something great at a school. He left to go to the Buccaneers, and obviously, and you coached at several other places. And then when you go back like they keep comparing you to it, and it's totally different because you don't have Ray Rice, you don't have the big left tackle they had, you don't have the defensive player, and it's a totally different college football.
Mm-hmm.
And then you had to spend the first year and a half, 2 years getting them to support and just do the basics
at the birthplace of college football. Is still
right. What is this like their facilities and all that, and the stadium?
Mm-hmm.
So really, the first 2 years he really wasn't even fully into coaching.
Right.
He was
in CEO booster,
and so. Stretch kind of thing. I do like the match. I do like it because it takes a special person to go places like that. But when you talk about what we're talking about, I think it shows that look-see where you go back. I mean, Frost is doing the same thing. He has to compare against I don't know, fictitious or fake national championship, and now he's there to do it again in a harder conference, in the Big 12.
Is the best follow-up, would we say that's like Bill Snyder?
Yeah. But he never left, kind of. He
was always around.
Yeah.
But he wasn't coaching.
Yeah, but
he came back, 5 years later, 4 years
AD
later?
or something like that, or something. Then he's like, yeah, all right, I'll do it. It's kind of like Barry Alvarez.
True.
Get out the tandem bed. All right, man. We let go of coach. I'll coach the bowl game. We'll win. I'll show you how it's doing. Yeah, so it's hard to do, but I think Sean will do well or continue to do well.
Shout out to Kansas Randy on the Sartor Heyman Jewelers text line, Haddo, and Eric, my man Jay, back hard at work. Eric, just stay off of Jay, right? Jay's been hard at work. Just because he's not here doesn't mean he's not working. Lay off, man.
Eric, man, it's football time, man. We're supposed to be as one.
Supposed
to be as one.
Can't be working on team chemistry at this point in football camp.
Yeah, Eric.
Get with it.
I think football season is unique in the sense just because the energy that, kind of it brings, but then also there's a lot of anxiety that goes with it because the reality, what's funny? Eric is funny. They wouldn't be complete without Eric. So we love you, Eric. I love all our listeners and everybody that takes time to text in and get used to this new show, new time, and as we'll continue to build it and do our thing. But I always looked at some of the guys that were NFL players included, heavy on the social media. Yeah, that's ceased right now, brother. You tired? You tired? Okay, yeah. The knees and ankles ain't as just flexible. You ain't dancing around and all that type of stuff. Now, camp might have broke or something like that, so you might get a little bit of relief. But reality is you're knee deep in camp. And if you're in a competition for a spot, the offseason is over. So that should really slow down. And also, to be honest with you, sometimes, the big thing you hear players, what's the catchphrase? I've been grinding, or I'm in the lab, or, working on that dog. Well, we're going to see. We're seeing if you got that dog on you or somebody's walking the dog on you.
Right.
And that'll be interesting to see as we start to, move forward and start to hear some stories coming out of camp. And obviously when the games start to go, then you see who's who and what's what.
Rob Wirtz was telling some stories yesterday, including back at his time at Minnesota Duluth. Let's start with this just because it's kind of funny. From Rob Wirtz. He played with Tyler Yelk back in college. Here was Rob Wirtz on his time playing with Nebraska's new safeties coach, Tyler Yelk.
He didn't know the record. He's like, oh, I didn't know that. It means nothing to him. So that makes me feel worse because it meant a lot to me. So
were you trying to get, were you trying to add toward the end of your career mentally get to that point?
I 100% wanted to win the tackling record. Yeah, 100%. And it's silly because it's about team play and how we execute the defense. But yeah, he's never brought it up once to me. He better not either. So, cool.
Kind of funny. And then we get this from Tyler Yelk on having played with Rob Orch as a teammate, more into the mindset of Rob Orch as a defensive coordinator as well.
A lot that I'm not going to share here. But he is a stud player. I mean, he was a stud player, and he was fun to play behind as a safety. I mean, he was going to spill the ball. He was going to do his job. He had command. He was going to get to the football. But his demeanor, I mean, what he is up here, I mean, that's who he is. I mean, whether it was in the classroom, in the hallway, lifting, I mean, he always had an energy about him. He was always positive. And we just had a really unique balance in the locker room. And he was really an integral part of that balance.
Rob Wirtz and Tyler Yelk talking about their days playing together. We also heard this from Rob Wirtz, Jay. He was asked about adapting his scheme to the Big Ten, something that Scott Frost never had to do, obviously, because the Big Ten had to adapt to him. But here's Rob Wirtz on adapting his defense to the Big Ten.
As soon as I took the job, I mean, we have access to every film in the world right now, just with PFF and DB Sport and Catapult. we studied every opponent that we're going to see this year. We just went to work, whether they like, whether they don't like, how do they approach different downs and distances. And then we took what this conference was showing us compared to what we were seeing in a previous conference, and we had to modify or potentially remajor in something that gives us a better opportunity versus this style of play.
What do you think it is Nebraska's defense is going to have to remajor in against the Big Ten as opposed to the Mountain West?
Oh, I mean, just like any, league that you're in, but obviously it's more important in the Big Ten and certainly in the SEC is that you got to be able to stop the run and you got to be able to run the ball effectively. Mm-hmm. And so, you can't overextend yourself when you do it. So you got to have guys that are coached and are willing have the willingness to accept the coaching and are able to win. And that's really what it is. I mean, sure, you got the scheme, you got the 4-man front, you come out against 20, if you get 22 personnel, every defensive coordinator walking the face of the earth, including high school, you'll go into the bear front. And so, that doesn't matter if you ran a 3-3-5, a 2-4-5 or whatever, anything, so at the end of the day, you just got to be able to adjust to certain things, but you got to have guys that got to go out there and win. Now, the way you teach and the way you coach, and that's what you've done all off season. That's what you're doing in fall camp, and where you want guys to continue to improve and their knowledge of the game, their situational awareness, and how to, play a little bit more reckless but more calculated. And that's going to be, based on tendencies and what you do well, what they don't do well. And that's just kind of like game to game basis and series to series basis when you're, in the game. And so, I think, look, anytime you take a position and it is a big step up, you can't, deny that. His first year as a coordinator did really well at, San Diego State. And, he's got to take some of the things he did well there. And now see, to play well defensively in any league, you have to have a system that you can communicate to not only your players, but your assistant coaches. Then the message is also clear coming down from top down. And so that lets you know that he was able to do that effectively, right? And so he has Coach Manning with him. I know he has, with Coach Yelke, he has experience, and now I see Coach Brown, and then you have Addison Williams and Dvorak. So you have a staff that, really seamlessly can, adapt, together and have the cohesiveness, because that's part of it as well. So, I think, look, you can lean on Coach Rule, you can lean on, Dana, because they've coached in the Big Ten. And so you can ask, Dana Holgorsen, I'm sure he has, like, what's your thoughts on so-and-so offense and how they attacked Nebraska last year? What were some of the things that were problematic last year? What were some of the things that some of the players need to improve on? You take in all that data, and then you're able to adapt your defense to the personnel that you have. And then you go out there, you put the best game plan together as possible, and then you have to sit on the sidelines, 20 yards away and hope they execute. And you got a different variance in ages and experience, and you hope they go out there and play well.
A lot of that will start up front for Rob Orich. He was asked about the depth at the defensive end position. Here's the DC.
I like that room. Coach Manning's done a great job of elevating the floor and raising the ceiling. I think those guys are battling just how the D tackle room are. They're making each other better. No one's how would I say this? The depth chart isn't even close to set. Like, every day, those guys are attacking it.
Obviously, it's a little bit new group there on the defensive line, Jay, and we'll get to something you said about Jasir Whittington here in just a minute. But he mentioned that Coach Manning is both raising the floor and the ceiling. When you think about Nebraska's defensive line last year, when it had issues, was it because the floor was low and they were, busting on easy things or simple things? Or was it, hey, they're fine on the little things, they're just not making splash plays and elevating that ceiling?
I think it was probably a combination of both. And, I think, the 3-man front, you have to really be, I had to adjust to going into a 3-4. So, I know what it's like to play in it. So you have to be invested in physicality. You have to invest in the coaching, and maybe it's just probably, not probably, it was a lot of the little things, that lead to big things. I keep going back to that Penn State game where, they essentially ran inside outside zone. And then, you have 8 mental errors. That's not it's not a schematic thing, man. They're not coming out, I played against teams where they come out in 21 personnel, then go to 11, then they go to 12, then they'd come in 10 personnel. And then they do all types of shifts in motion. So not that you expect that, but that puts a lot of stress on like a linebacker. And so and if you're playing at home or on the road, it's just hard to do because you got to communicate not only, different calls and checks and different, packages defensively. You're communicating to different people, different players. You might be in base defense. You might be in big defense, like goal line. You might be in nickel defense. You might be in dime. Then you might be in what we used to call like, or what Bo Pelini called peso, 3 down linemen, kind of like 2 linebackers, you do, or 1 linebacker and a bunch of little guys. So you're communicating with a whole different, personnel grouping almost play to play. Then you probably might expect some, mental errors. But when you have like 8 of the first 9 that Coach Rule talked about, that kind of, the attention to detail. So that's what he's talking about, where he's trying to raise the floor and the ceiling is like your worst day has to be a winnable day. We used to always talk about the 85, 90%. That's what you want to be able to grade out at no matter what you're doing. If you're some days you just don't have it. You're physically not there. Mentally, you might not be as sharp, but you have to put in a winning effort and put in a winning, product on the field. So that's what they're trying to do. It's nobody's really stepped out and the competition is thick. And so, in these next couple weeks, is probably the most important couple weeks in a lot of these guys' careers. Realistically, where you fit in, where you make your way. Now it's not over, because based on you might not start or you're starting the first game, but it also it puts you in a certain position, and that doesn't mean it's over or anything like that. But you got to really establish yourself and continue to work. And so I'm sure that they're hoping that when they start to really get after and get to the nitty gritty, guys really start to elevate themselves.
On the interior defensive line, Rob Borch was asked about Jasir Whittington. Here's the DC.
Yeah, Jasir's a dog. Jasir has a pro attitude in the way he approaches the game, super competitive, relentless in the way he gets after the passer. One thing I really notice about Jasir is just the first move, if it doesn't hit, second move, third move. He's just constantly going through the process of attacking the quarterback. And he's got elite twitch, obviously. But I think what separates him is the way he approaches his work. And so that kid's going to do a lot of great things in life, whether it's football or not. He's wired the right way.
All good to hear about the mentality, but the other thing, Jay, the twitch.
Yeah.
Where's the suddenness been for Nebraska on the defensive line? Is that natural? Can you teach it? What does it mean to have it?
You can develop it. I mean, if you look at Jason Peter, he's a really good athlete at 6'5", and he was 285 or whatever he was. Same with Grant, and it's something that you just rep every day, so you continue to get your foot quickness down. You don't want to be a long strider. Jason can tell you about that when, if somebody asks them or texts in about when they're on the pit. The one thing about, and I did actually put it up on like my YouTube. I did a breakdown of Jasir Whittington. And last year, he was kind of like a co-starter. And, I don't know if he was injured or whatever, but, I watched him against Notre Dame. And one thing he does is he gets off the ball. Now, look, he's smaller, he's stature-wise than everybody else, so he has to have that natural ability and quickness. That's how he's able to be effective at that position at Pittsburgh. But what he does is he plays a tremendous amount of effort and passion, and he's invested in football. That's what he's saying. I mean, point blank. How he's wired is going to allow him to be successful in some form or fashion this year at Nebraska. And obviously after playing here or after football's over for him, wherever that may be. And, I think the suddenness also is just kind of a mindset where you just kind of let yourself go and stop worrying about the result and really focus on the process of being the best you can be for that 4 or 5 second play. And it's a hard thing to do when you're in constant competition mode because you're trying to actually play perfect. I think football is a game of imperfections that you have to execute perfectly. And, I think that, he's an asset to the team. I think the more guy, the one thing I can say, I hope this year, and just from the few interviews I've seen, is that I think some of the guys that they've brought in, we're going to wait and see how good they are, right? And how good they are together and how good this team is. But I think these guys coming in are, like, I guess I could say defensively, seem like more invested in football. You know what I'm saying?
Higher level of professionalism.
And just not invested. And it's a little bit different because some guys have been here. You had guys last year have been through Frost and all, and kind of through like so they've been through some times, supposedly mentally, you know what I mean? But but they're highly compensated based on their skill set and their production, probably a little bit more. Where these guys are coming in, I think they're wired right, and he's probably one of them.
Let's get to this on our Starter Heyman Jewelers text line before we go to break. Well, first of all, angry Rams fan, give you a little bit of a clue here. Undersized D-line with good twitch from Pitt. Where have I heard that before? No, we're not going there. We're not making that comp. Angry Rams fan, we're not doing it. But Big Hoss says, good morning, guys. I don't care how big of a dog somebody is. If you're 275 pounds on the defensive line in the Big Ten, you're going to get smashed, which is generally true, except that I just go back to.
There were some Iowa defensive linemen that weren't very big, but they were really, really well coached.
You have an advantage in some form or fashion over everyone you'll play, or it's your job to find one. Think critically about who you are as a player and who they are. It might be hard to find. You might be going up against, I guess Logan Jones is gone, but right, with Peeper on the interior, whoever it is that Jasiri Whittington is going to face from Iowa. If low man wins in football, guess what? Can't you stay lower than him initially? Yeah. Knock him off balance with quicker twitch, get him before he gets you. Yeah, it's a tougher road to walk. Yeah, you have some things that on the surface won't look in your favor, but Jay, isn't that part of doing your job and then going and playing football is finding your advantage?
Yeah, I mean, look, I'm never going to compare anybody to Aaron Donald. He's going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer, but I watched Pitt last night. They have another defensive tackle that kind of fits his script. That's at Notre Dame. So I mean, I think look, you got to play to your strengths. Nobody's ever there's been a few guys that have came out of college that are built perfectly, and they didn't have any weaknesses, like probably Reggie White and Lawrence Taylor and all those guys. Those are guys that are obviously in Canton, but
yeah,
I think that you have to piece together a roster of guys that can play certain roles, and they got to be really, really excellent in those roles. And so for him, he's got to be a penetrator. He's got to be really good, technique sound. He's got to have excellent stamina. He's got to be really good in the weight room, and he's got to play with functional strength, at least of playing strength. And so, sure, you want him to be sitting in there and take on double teams, for 40 straight runs. Not any defensive tackle that can, but so it's up to everybody else to play well, because if he's getting double teamed all game, that means there's a lot of guys getting single blocked.
Yeah.
So
and not taking advantage.
And so you better be making plays, because you can't. And sure, you can be right, and Big Hoss and all that, but
give the kid a chance. He's played at Nebraska,
and that's where the depth comes in. The guy's got to play too. And so it can happen. Are you if you're expecting him to be like Jason Peter and Dominican Sue, then you probably have a different view on football than I do. And I think he can be a viable player and be an asset. When he plays his role, I think he provides some leadership, though. I mean, for Rob Orch to talk about him, lets he's leading those guys in a different way, and it's just not by action. It's probably about how he's going in day-to-day business.
More from Rob Orch and Tyler Yelk when we get back to Old School. Hour one of the show brought to you by Heartland of Nebraska Windows. They're based down there in Hallam. You can give them a call for more information, 402-430-3852. You can also check them out online at heartlandofnebraskawindows.com. Back to tell you more about them. Back to hear from more of Nebraska football's defensive staff next on Old School.
You're listening to Old School with Jay Foreman and Austin Orman. Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Several irrigation contractors in Lincoln go out of business every year, leaving sprinkler system orphans, begging for service. The folks at Judson Irrigation shed a tear for these little fellas. They've been coddling these orphans for more than 40 years. From redesign, repairing, replacing, and restoring, remember the Judson Irrigation Orphanage.
Call the Judson Irrigation Orphanage, 402-420-6277, or judsonirrigation.com.
Select Plumbing and Utility has been serving Lincoln and the surrounding area for 14 years, and they're not slowing down. Select Plumbing and Utility handles all your plumbing needs, from faucets and water heaters to full renovations, and they can even help with your heating and cooling needs. They're also Lincoln's underground experts, repairing and replacing broken underground water and sewer lines since day one. Contact Select Plumbing and Utility today at 402-560-6197, assuring excellence in every situation, opportunity, and challenge. That's 402-560-6197.
Bagels and Joe is the best place to start off your mornings this summer, and you can order your breakfast ahead of time on their app. This summer's cream cheese flavor is pickle. Pair it with a blueberry cobbler iced latte, and don't forget their Berry Breeze dirty soda. Stop by any of their 4 locations in Lincoln and their location in Seward. Bagels and Joe.
Rico here with HIS Auto Care at 70th and Van Dorn, letting you know HIS is a great place to bring your vehicle for service. With superior service bumper to bumper, we'll treat your vehicle like it's your mother's. Doesn't get any better than that. So call 402-488-8934 and HIS Auto will make you glad you did. 5% off, mention this ad, and for sure your mother will be proud you called. 402-488-8934, HIS Auto Care, 70th and Van Dorn. God bless you.
When Nebraska businesses win, we all win. And the Nebraska Chamber is helping make that happen. Tackling the tough stuff like job creation, affordable and accessible childcare, and building a stronger workforce. We're stepping up so local businesses can step forward. If you want to see Nebraska keep growing, keep competing, and keep winning, get connected with the Nebraska Chamber of Commerce and Industry. Learn more at nechamber.com.
MHC isn't a new company, just a new name. Mo's Moving is now Mo's Home and Commercial. Whether moving across town or across the state, MHC Moving has you covered, specializing in home, apartment, assisted, and independent living moves. MHC can handle your commercial moves as well. MHC Moving has 0 hidden fees. You'll never pay for same-day booking or be charged for stairs, heavy items, or elevator fees. Rates are the same Monday through Saturday, and you will never pay a truck or fuel surcharge. And they offer payment plans through PayPal. Call MHC Moving today at 402-853-7167 or go to mhcmoving.com. There once was a man from Nebraska who went searching for food in Alaska. When his stomach was rumbling while laying in bed, he could think of only one option, Führer's cheese spread. So he left it once and drove day and night to return back home for cheese spread delight. Now his stomach is full and the voice in his head tells him no more vacations without Führer's cheese spread. Find yours today at most local grocers.
At Schwieso Construction, safety isn't just a policy, it's a promise. Build with us. Work safe, go home proud. We're hiring skilled craftsmen, laborers, concrete workers, and steel erectors who value quality work and a team that has your back, on and off the job site. If you're ready to be part of a company where your safety and success come first, visit Schwieso.com. That's SCHWISOW.com and apply today. Schwieso Construction, 40 years strong and still building the future.
Your line just went down. Production stopped. A supervisor wants answers, and someone's digging through a binder for the maintenance history. Every one of those minutes costs money, and most of the time, that breakdown could have been prevented. That's where MaintainX comes in. MaintainX catches the failure before it happens. Preventive maintenance plans on every key asset to improve reliability. Work orders assigned and tracked right from your phone. Everyone from the floor to the front office is in the loop. Real-time dashboards give managers instant visibility into what's been completed, what's overdue, and where the bottlenecks are. No more guesswork. Just a smarter, faster maintenance operation. Companies on MaintainX have cut unplanned downtime by over 30% and save thousands on parts and labor every year. See what it can do for your operation. Try MaintainX free at maintainx.com.
Lincoln's go-to for fun isn't new. It's a place that's been a staple of the city for years and is only getting better. Matson's Bowling and Billiards always has open bowling available with no long lines unlike other centers. They have live music almost every weekend and great food at EJ's Bar and Lounge, with seating for 150 people. They have popular meals like the EJ Burger, pizza for the whole family, and famous EJ's Wings. Contact Sarah to book a party for friends, coworkers, or family at Matson's Bowling and Billiards, just south of 48th and Holdridge.
Back to Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back in. It is hour one of Old School. Austin Norman, Jay Foreman with you. Big thanks to Schiffer Monster watching on YouTube. Thanks for dialing us up here. Big thanks to Heartland of Nebraska Windows, offering free estimates, full window replacements, all vinyl triple pane windows, and a lifetime warranty on everything while keeping their prices affordable. Heartland of Nebraska Windows is locally and family owned with their own team of installers. Give Heartland of Nebraska Windows a call today for more info, 402-430-3852. You can also visit online, heartlandofnebraskawindows.com. Let's go ahead and hear from Tyler Yelk, JNU safeties coach for Nebraska. Has some history with the staff, came from the Philadelphia Eagles. You talk a lot about communication. and the linebackers' role in that. Obviously, Yelk is the safeties coach, but he talked about what communication on a football field should look and sound like in terms of the clarity. And here's Tyler Yelk.
It shortens the learning curve when you can inflict one guy. I think back to playing days like in our defense that Rob and I played, and there's only a couple like voices that really spoke on the play. And so the guys that we have here are usually those voices. So immediately like, hey, everybody got the install, but they're feeling their way through it a little bit. And then you have a one singular veteran out there too that can really help get the ball rolling and get things cooking. So that piece of it's been immensely valuable.
One veteran voice being the main leader. Only a couple guys talk to get the call in every play. Does that fit with what you think of as communication on a football field?
Well, yeah, I mean, look, that's Owen Chambliss, for sure. I think he's the leader of that defense. I mean, he knows the defense, I think, as good as anybody, and even on the staff, and enjoys it. And that's what I talked about. You have guys that are invested in it, and that's for me, obviously, a linebacker and a player. It's a breath of fresh air. I know he'll do well, just because of that alone. And, his athletic ability and toughness will, obviously lead out on the field. So, yeah, you just need to kind of cut all the noise. You got to have a guy that I always talk about, your quarterback and your middle linebacker, your first quality, you got to be a demander and a commander. Now, you got to be everything else, but that's it, man. When you step in the huddle, there's a picture that I'm going to find and I'll tweet out, and I'll maybe, we'll, give it to when you guys do the stuff on Instagram or whatever.
You can do a black shirt body language breakdown.
Yeah, no, when how we do like clips after shows or whatever, I can get it to where we're okay. So I'm in the huddle. Jason Peters in the huddle. He's first round pick. Mike Rucker, second round pick. Chad Kelsey got drafted 6th round or something like that. And Grant Wistrom. I'm talking in the intention that they're looking. That's what he's talking about. When it's like E.F. Hutton, when somebody talks, they listen. When you're a middle linebacker, you have to be commander. You got to command it. How you break the huddle, how you carry yourself, that bleeds out there. But he's 100% right. You need to have a guy that can communicate. I would say front to back, or like say middle to front. That's the second level to the first level, and then third level to the second level, and then you got to have both of them that are able to go sideways. And it's got to be it's got to kind of, it's kind of like one of those like what's that game? It just kind of goes around or whatever. The video game where you had the little thing, and I used to go to arcade all the time, and you had the ball on there, you push the button, and you try to knock off things down there. Probably too old for you.
No, I can picture it.
Yeah,
not like Pong. No, it's because it was the ball. You had the little slider. Yeah.
But then you never lose a point. That's how the communication needs to be. But it all starts with that at the bottom. It probably wasn't the best analogy, but
no, I get what you're saying. I don't know the name of the game.
Neuron firing or whatever in science class we used to see, and it just keeps going. That's what you want. You want it. The best defenses, in my opinion, are the loudest defenses. Every single play. Not because the coaches tell you. You got to know as a defense, when you go from walkthrough to, or, you go from like warm-ups to walkthrough to group work to team periods to whatever, it doesn't change. And it's just, a habit. And that's what he's talking about.
More from Tyler Yelk. Let's go ahead and talk about the safeties taking charge in that defensive backfield. Here's Tyler Yelk.
It's a growth process that way. I mean, it comes with the confidence and understanding the playbook and eliminating that hesitation. We used to joke that, hey, like, if you don't know what to call something. And we say, hey, call Nancy. Well, then that ended up making its way into the playbook. So we had to come up with a different term, but it was just like, just take charge. And so pushing those guys and really appreciate the way they've responded. After practice 5 or 6, wherever we're at, this become a blur. But this early in camp, I really like where we're at, and still room to grow. We're not where we need to be, but like where we're at.
And who are some of those names? He was asked about the safety rotation early in the season. Here he is.
It varies with each group, and I'm still feeling I don't have a direct answer, and even Coach Rule talked about that this morning. Like, who our starters are, things like that, and we appreciate competition, but we have a group of guys and a collective group that can really play. And so whether it's a deal that we platoon it a little bit, and hey, 12 personnel, these guys are going to be our starters, the other guys are the backup, 11 personnel, this is our so we can mix and match that a little bit, which I like. It creates a little more chaos on game day. I have to be a little bit more organized with the substitutions and things like that, but that's no problem. We'll get that taken care of.
How do you view Nebraska's safety rotation and how that should work early in the year, Jen?
Well, yeah, it'd be interesting. Well, for their case, if I was Coach Orich, I two guys that I brought with me, I expected them. I would hope. First of all, I would demand forget hope anymore, right? Hope is for the weak, right?
Sure.
I would demand in 100 expect Owen Chambliss and McDougal to be the guys that he's talking about.
Mm-hmm.
You guys better, first of all, you guys are coming from San Diego State. I'm leveling up. I'm getting paid, right? Because obviously everybody knows he got a pay increase, and so are you. So we're in this together. I didn't get here without you guys because you were part of my defense last year. So that doesn't stop in San Diego State. So I expect you guys to be the leaders of the defense. So as far as the safeties, I would expect him to be one of them, right? And then you just have a lot of, you got Guthrie, you got Kahn, you got, I think it's Rhett. Is it Rhett?
Justin Rhett. Yep.
And then you got Caleb Benning. And so you have to find the mix of the two safeties. And then you got Donovan Jones at nickel and say Kahn. So you got to find your 2.5 players or whatever, 3 guys, and it's going to be a rotation of 6, I guess. And so the versatility is going to be important, because if you can communicate effectively, you don't have to change personnel from 11 to 12 personnel or whatever. Now, skill sets, if somebody's a really good field safety or can cover guys a little bit better than others, then sure, you got to make that adjustment just because of what you've seen. But ideally, you'd like to see guys really shake up. You got a lot of guys that when they look in the mirror, if this was a mirror right here, right, all 4 of these window panels or whatever they're called, and you had all 6 of them there that I just named, they all kind of look the same. Right? They all kind of, some have played a lot, like McDougal. Some were forced into action, like Guthrie. Some showed late promise, where you got, Donovan Jones played a lot last year.
Rhett came in late in the year in the bowl game.
But then you have Caleb Benning,
Younger
and
Benning.
Rhett came in, and let's see what you can do in the bowl game. And they flashed them, right? So you have guys that still have to prove themselves, that got a lot of confidence from last year, guys that should come in with confidence, that shouldn't be cocky or entitled, and they all have to figure it out, because nobody's really showed themselves, in my opinion, or at least according to what he said and what Coach Orchard said. Really, anybody on defense besides probably Marshall, Chambliss, and let's say Woodington. And if I'm missing somebody, then maybe 3 guys have really kind of solidified themselves. Everybody else is kind of competing for it, day in and day out.
Last one before we go to break. Let's hear what Tyler Yelk had to say about Jameer Kahn and Donovan Jones.
Jameer, I've had to pull the reins on a little bit, like, hey, we can't be overtraining. But whatever you give those guys, they're always having follow-up questions. There's always asking for more. Both those guys are just really great athletes. And, we've mixed and matched positions there a little bit. And I think there was a little bit of hesitation early on, but then I think they kind of see the vision for it now. And, I appreciate the room as a whole, not just those 2 guys aligning themselves with where we're trying to put them.
Thought that was interesting. A little bit of hesitation at first. Kahn really flashed nickel. Jones had been an outside corner, but that's been a hallmark of what Nebraska's done. Some of that mix and match and find the ultimate, home for these guys. And I like the alignment that Nebraska can throw out there. If Kahn's a kind of a rangy safety and Jones can play nickel.
Yeah, I mean, Donovan Jones, I think when you go back at times, he's a bigger kid, physical kid, did pretty well at corner, competed. So those skills that in the experience he learned at corner will help him play nickel better, because he'll ideally kind of know what a corner is going through and how he can be an asset and a playmaker at that position, because a nickel takes on a different mindset, because you have to be a linebacker one play, you have to be a cover corner the other, you have to be a little bit of both on some games and some series. And so with Kahn, a younger player that a guy that's really wants to do well and ask questions and be his best, and if you have to pull the reins back on him, you like that. I mean, at this, if anything, as a coach, I think, and sure, the first year that you have a defensive back coach, I'm going to tell you this, everybody's on their best behavior. And the one thing is good when you get new coaches. Now, granted, if somebody goes and becomes a head coach, that's different versus a coach or coaches are fired. That's completely different. And so you're on your best behavior. You want to prove yourself, and so the more guys that can prove themselves in and out of the classroom on the field, the better for Coach Yelk and the defense.
Another guy that came to Nebraska from the NFL in search of his own room, Tyler Yelk. Went okay for John Butler, at least at the beginning.
But I think Yelk had prior experience
in
college. Right.
A little bit. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's not
the same.
Yeah, and so did Butler, but I think his personality is different.
Yeah.
Just it is different.
Yeah.
And he knows Rob Orge. So that's familiar too. Whereas Butler came in
knowing nobody.
And it was a late. The circumstances were obviously not ideal because he came in 2 weeks before camp, right?
Something like that.
Middle
it was
late July,
late.
right? So
Yeah.
I mean, I think the first year he's trying to figure out all the moving stuff, and so I think this is a little bit different.
Suspect sports person of the week. Got a couple options to throw your way, Jay. We'll get to that to wrap up hour one.
Right. Watch Old School live on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Bauer Underground has been serving local contractors and utility contractors all across the state since 1997. When you see the black and white trucks, you know that the best workers in the business have arrived. Bauer is currently looking for equipment operators, laborers, diesel mechanics, and aerial linemen. Join the brotherhood built upon hard work, authentic people, and a pedigree of success. They're offering top-notch benefits, matching 401k, and a $600 per year clothing allowance. Bauer Underground, a family-friendly company with room for advancement.
Looking for a fun way to give back? Join us for the 2026 Kicks for Kids Nebraska Fun Run Walk, presented by Pinnacle Bank, on Saturday, August 22nd at James Arthur Vineyard. Enjoy a scenic 5K through beautiful grounds. Every step helps provide shoes to kids in Lincoln and Lancaster County schools, with options for adults, wine included, and kids. Registration fees include a t-shirt, medal, and bag. Sign up today and make a difference at kicksforkidsnebraska.org.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
This summer, Salt Dogs fans are making history at Haymarket Park. We're celebrating 25 seasons of grit, grins, heart, and hometown pride. Lincoln, you built this stadium. You named this team. And season after season, it's you, the fans, that keep us coming back for more. So let our thank you be our promise. The best is yet to come. Your local tradition plays on. Get your tickets at saltdogs.com.
There once was a man from Nebraska who went searching for food in Alaska. When his stomach was rumbling while laying in bed, he could think of only one option, Führer's cheese spread. So he left it once and drove day and night to return back home for cheese spread delight. Now his stomach is full and the voice in his head tells him no more vacations without Führer's cheese spread. Find yours today at most local grocers.
Bauer Underground has been serving local contractors and utility contractors all across the state since 1997. When you see the black and white trucks, you know that the best workers in the business have arrived. Bauer is currently looking for equipment operators, laborers, diesel mechanics, and aerial linemen. Join the brotherhood built upon hard work, authentic people, and a pedigree of success. They're offering top-notch benefits, matching 401k, and a $600 per year clothing allowance. Bauer Underground, a family-friendly company with room for advancement.
At Schwezo Construction, safety isn't just a policy, it's a promise. Build with us. Work safe, go home proud. We're hiring skilled craftsmen, laborers, concrete workers, and steel erectors who value quality work and a team that has your back, on and off the job site. If you're ready to be part of a company where your safety and success come first, visit schwezo.com. That's SCHWISOW.com and apply today. Schwezo Construction, 40 years strong and still building the future.
Your line just went down. Production stopped. A supervisor wants answers. And someone's digging through a binder for the maintenance history. Every one of those minutes costs money, and most of the time, that breakdown could have been prevented. That's where MaintainX comes in. MaintainX catches the failure before it happens. Preventive maintenance plans on every key asset to improve reliability. Work orders assigned and tracked right from your phone. Everyone from the floor to the front office is in the loop. Real-time dashboards give managers instant visibility into what's been completed, what's overdue, and where the bottlenecks are. No more guesswork. just a smarter, faster maintenance operation. Companies on Maintain X have cut unplanned downtime by over 30% and save thousands on parts and labor every year. See what it can do for your operation. Try Maintain X free at maintainx.com.
Lincoln's go-to for fun isn't new. It's a place that's been a staple of the city for years and is only getting better. Matson's Bowling and Billiards always has open bowling available with no long lines unlike other centers. They have live music almost every weekend and great food at EJ's Bar and Lounge with seating for 150 people. They have popular meals like the EJ Burger, pizza for the whole family, and famous EJ's Wings. Contact Sarah to book a party for friends, coworkers, or family at Matson's Bowling and Billiards just south of 48th and Holdridge.
If one of the things running through your mind as a business owner is the recurring worry of possible cyber attacks, you can let out a sigh of relief. Hamilton Business Technologies has you covered. As the official business IT partner of the Huskers, we offer real-time threat monitoring, advanced security protocols, and more to keep your data safe from harm. We care about the success of Nebraska businesses and communities like yours. Learn how we can help you at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
For remote starters, audio upgrades, and more, there's only one place to go. Auto Sounds of Lincoln at 48th and O.
Back to Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back in, wrapping up hour one of Old School. Austin Norman, Jay Foreman with you. It is time for our suspect sports person of the week. And Jay, we got a few options to throw out to you. Number one, more a suspect sports snake of the week. A kid at a high school in Arkansas practiced an entire football practice, at least the first hour of it, and felt something moving around in his helmet.
Oh, yeah.
Come to find out,
it was like a viper or something, right?
it was a cottonmouth snake. Not just a copperhead, a cottonmouth snake,
Yeah.
a venomous snake in his helmet that he practiced with for an hour.
Yeah, he's not suspect. The equipment manager is suspect.
The snake is suspect. The equipment manager.
Where was
Man.
that helmet during the off season that you didn't check it? I mean, because you got to get fitted for that bad boy.
Yeah.
Whoever left it, that snake was up. And he's lucky to, something bad didn't happen.
Not gonna
I did
hurt.
see it. They had to put it in water to get the snake to come out, and obviously got the snake out of there. He's pretty suspect. That's a suspect. There's suspects.
Plural.
People of the week.
Who's more suspect, Stephen A. Smith or Marcus Freeman, for having Stephen A. Smith speak to Notre Dame football last night?
Marcus Freeman. Listen, any brother that is that vain, wears extra medium pants, and has that much hair dye in his hair, and then you bring Stephen A. Smith in to speak to camp. You bring Stephen A. Smith in after you won something. You're trying to get everybody to improve their brand. This is when you bring in some dogs, some people that have done it. So Marcus Freeman is always suspect, even though he's the Notre Dame head coach.
What do you think Stephen A. Smith could possibly tell Notre Dame football? What's the message?
How great he is. I mean, how great he's done. I mean, he's never played football. He wasn't even good at basketball, but he's really good at what he did in the media. He started as a journalist and did really good there.
Mhm.
All those are credential. He's found a way to have like his brand and the way he does things and coverage, and I wouldn't call it an act, but the way his deal is, it's him and Pat McAfee, and they go back and forth, but they run ESPN. I mean, he runs he's a I wouldn't even say icon, but he's done things that people would never thought he could do, and so he could talk to him about that. But that has nothing to do with football.
No.
Every move that he's made, sure, he has a team around him, but it's been on an individual basis. He's had to step on a lot of toes and kind of step over people to get where he's at, whether he wants to admit it or not. He has, and he's had people that's helped him along the way. That has nothing to do with football. Nothing. Sure, he has access to some great football players and interviewed and sat with some great football players, but he has no idea what it takes. None. And that's not even a knock on him.
Mm-hmm.
But what he does know, is what it takes and the sacrifices that you have to make to be great. So he definitely could talk to him about that, and maybe they need something. Maybe they need that because he's had to sacrifice a lot. If you listen to him talking, he's great when he actually is talking about some of the things he's had to do to be great. That could really resonate with some players and get them to understand no matter if it's football, life, or whatever business you get in, you're gonna have to make a tremendous amount of sacrifice if you want to be successful or get what you think you want or what you've been dreaming about. You have to really lay it down and lay it on the line.
Final suspect sports person of the week, we go to Tulsa, Oklahoma, who essentially gamed its way through the special needs bracket.
I know. That is crazy.
Using a special needs baseball program for your team to qualify for the Little League World Series with players that, according to reports, would not have qualified for the program.
Yeah, man. I mean, is it
What
that
are we
serious?
doing?
Is it that serious? Really?
12-year-olds.
People do. You know what I think? People do anything for attention, and people are so desperate to win in sports, they'll do anything. And they should never do something that should never cross your mind. It should never even be a question, because all the coaches out there that really coach and help kids participate in special needs sports, that takes a tremendous amount of effort. My hat always goes off to them, but you're out there trying to, like I said, game your way into. Get into the Little League World Series. It's not even, and those kids probably don't even know.
Right.
And so, adults need to, make better and rational decisions.
Step it up, adults. You can do it. We'll go to break. When we get back, some Prove It players for Nebraska football and plenty more to get to over the next 2 hours of the show. 402-464-5685 if you want to be a part of the show on our Starter Heyman Jewelers text line. Drop us some Prove It players in your mind for Nebraska football this coming season. And a big thank you to Heartland and Nebraska Windows for sponsoring hour one of the show. Back with more after this.
You're listening to Old School with Jay Foreman and Austin Orman. Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
In every office, there's two types of people. There are those who bring in bagels and those who eat the bagels that someone else brought in. Everybody likes the first person. Be that first person. Weekday mornings at 7:30, you have a chance to win a business box of bagels from Bagels & Joe. All you have to do is shut up, Sipple. 2 questions for you, 2 for Sip. Win, and the bagels are yours. Lose, well, you don't want to lose.
You lost Monday, you lost Wednesday, you're a loser.
Shut up, Sipple. Weekday mornings at 7:30, brought to you by Bagels & Joe.
The friends with Jim DeFreeze Auto Parts here in Lincoln would like to take this time out to thank our first responders, doctors, nurses, and the healthcare professionals who put their lives in harm's way for our protection. Blood donation centers need people to donate blood. Be a silent hero and donate blood today. It will help accident victims, surgery patients, sick children, and members of our military. This message is from Jim DeFreeze Auto Parts here in Lincoln. Let's stay united and keep America safe and strong.
Do you ever feel okay in your current job and profession, but wonder if there's a better company that can offer more? Vision Mechanical is now hiring for journeyman plumbers and HVAC service technicians. Vision Mechanical offers top-of-the-industry wages, 100% paid health, disability, and life insurance, 401k with employee match, and paid holidays and vacation. Vision Mechanical believes in craftsmanship, teamwork, and building a better future, one project at a time. Apply today or learn more at visionmechanical.net or email Ron at vmech.net.
Lincoln's go-to for fun isn't new. It's a place that's been a staple of the city for years and is only getting better. Matson's Bowling and Billiards always has open bowling available with no long lines, unlike other centers. They have live music almost every weekend and great food at EJ's Bar and Lounge, with seating for 150 people. They have popular meals like the EJ Burger, pizza for the whole family, and famous EJ's Wings. Contact Sarah to book a party for friends, coworkers, or family at Matson's Bowling and Billiards, just south of 48th and Holdridge.
This summer, Salt Dogs fans are making history at Haymarket Park. We're celebrating 25 seasons of grit, grins, heart, and hometown pride. Lincoln, you built this stadium. You named this team. And season after season, it's you, the fans, that keep us coming back for more. So let our thank you be our promise. The best is yet to come. Your local tradition plays on. Get your tickets at saltdogs.com.
Your line just went down. Production stopped. A supervisor wants answers. And someone's digging through a binder for the maintenance history. Every one of those minutes costs money, and most of the time, that breakdown could have been prevented. That's where Maintain X comes in. MaintainX catches the failure before it happens. Preventive maintenance plans on every key asset to improve reliability. Work orders assigned and tracked right from your phone. Everyone from the floor to the front office is in the loop. Real-time dashboards give managers instant visibility into what's been completed, what's overdue, and where the bottlenecks are. No more guesswork. Just a smarter, faster maintenance operation. Companies on MaintainX have cut unplanned downtime by over 30% and saved thousands on parts and labor every year. See what it can do for your operation. Try MaintainX free at maintainx.com.
MHC isn't a new company, just a new name. Moe's Moving is now Moe's Home and Commercial. Whether moving across town or across the state, MHC Moving has you covered, specializing in home, apartment, assisted, and independent living moves. MHC can handle your commercial moves as well. MHC Moving has 0 hidden fees. You'll never pay for same-day booking or be charged for stairs, heavy items, or elevator fees. Rates are the same Monday through Saturday, and you will never pay a truck or fuel surcharge. And they offer payment plans through PayPal. Call MHC Moving today at 402-853-7167 or go to mhcmoving.com. In every city, every town, there's a Husker fan. You show up, you stand out no matter where the road takes you. And wherever Husker Nation goes, life doesn't slow down. That's why Emeritus makes dental and vision coverage simple. Quick quotes, affordable options, and nationwide access for fans everywhere. Choose the coverage that fits your journey. Emeritus, fulfilling life, fueled by Husker pride. Go to emeritus.com/Husker Dental for more information.
The Friends with Jim DeFreeze Auto Parts here in Lincoln would like to take this time out to thank our first responders, doctors, nurses, and the healthcare professionals who put their lives in harm's way for our protection. Blood donation centers need people to donate blood. Be a silent hero and donate blood today. It will help accident victims, surgery patients, sick children, and members of our military. This message is from Jim DeFreeze Auto Parts here in Lincoln. Let's stay united and keep America safe and strong.
At the Nebraska State Fair, you never know what you'll experience. Maybe it's watching your kid fall in love with a baby goat. Maybe it's that first bite of something deep fried and incredible. Maybe it's the moment everyone puts their phone down because core memories are forming right in front of them. It all happens here at the Nebraska State Fair, August 28th through September 7th in Grand Island. Visit statefair.org.
Coming at you live from the heart of downtown Lincoln, this is Old School with Foreman and Orman. Nebraska Football Hall of Famer Jay Foreman.
Here's Troy Detmer dropping straight back in the pocket. Rifles a pass. It was tipped. It's picked off by Foreman. He's at the 15, 10, 5. He'll score! Foreman got it, and it's touchdown Huskers.
Black shirts answer the call one more time.
And Austin Orman. Old School with Foreman and Orman is sponsored by Graham Tire Company of Lincoln. Your tire store next door with 4 Lincoln locations. Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Heading into hour 2 of the show. It is Old School. I'm Austin. He's Jay. Appreciate everyone listening here on a Wednesday morning. Week and a half of the new time slot down. Bill and Bennett says he likes the new time. So do we, Bill. We're still getting used to it. Been nice to hear from a lot of the same cast of characters we did in the afternoon slot and some new fans, some new people listening more in the morning. Appreciate each and every one of you. 402-464-5685 if you want to be a part of the show. Jay, we have some Prove It players. The Omaha World Herald had a list that it put out, but we'll get to our Sartor Heyman Jewelers text line first, including Chris. Chris gives us a handful of players. He says the entire offensive line, which, okay, makes sense. But then he goes to the defensive line, Riley Van Poppel and Cam Lenhart as Prove It players for Chris. Do you agree with his assessment? What do those two players specifically have to do to make it a good Prove It year for themselves?
Well, I think number one is just be more consistent. I mean, that both of them have potential. Both of them showed flashes as young players. I think both of them are in a different part, or last year was different. I think Cam started to show a little bit more consistency and throughout the year. And then Riley, I think is more comfortable in the 4-man front. So I think what they need to do is just play up to the potential and play up to the potential that they had and showed flashes at small, bits and pieces earlier in their career. And so that's going to take a lot of hard work, consistency, and get, really, immersed into the new coaching and the new defensive scheme, and just let it all hang out. And so, stat wise, from Riley, you want to be a guy that's going to be, you want to hear his name and like, all right, he made an impact on the game every single game. Number one. Now, if you start to get up on the, the 3 non-cons, you can't really say, oh, well, he hasn't done well. And then, the third team defensive tackle comes in and mops up on the third team, Bowling Green guard or something. Right. And so you have to be very, reasonable when you think about it, but he's got to be a leader, he's got to lead by his actions, and then he's got to produce on the field as well. And so, you want to have, a bit, obviously quite a bit of tackle for losses, and then obviously be able to provide that pressure. I think for both of them, it comes down to the little things. I think with Riley, keeping his pads low and just believing in what he can do naturally. Like, you have the athletic ability, you have the potential. Pad level and hands is just something that you have to really just keep harping on every single day. Everybody goes through it. Mm-hmm. If you ask Jason and Grant, they had to go through it. I've went through it, just being able to engage and disengage, offensive linemen and blockers more effectively. And that's leverage. It comes into your mindset, working on it, even on dog days of training camp like this. And then with Cam Lenhart, I think it's being comfortable in the position that you're in your body. I feel like physically he is where he needs to be, and not kind of moving around. You had to get a little bit bigger to play like that 5, and now you're playing, or you played on his feet, early, and now 5, and now you're playing more of a defensive end. So hopefully, he gets to be where he's, that consistent player, effective in the run game, really good with the effort. The guy that can, provide leadership in and out of the locker room.
The World Herald throws in a couple guys on the defensive line as well. Sua Lefotu is one of them. They note that he played the most snaps of his career in the loss to Utah, 29 of them. And then Williams Nwaneri is the other one that they have in a prove-it year, or as a prove-it player for Nebraska football on the defensive line. The kicker for that one is we think he'll earn the starting role. We expect so, but Nwaneri has first-round NFL talent. Nebraska has to unleash it. Sua Lefotu, again, a guy that's been on campus quite a bit, 4th-year junior. Again, played the most snaps of his career at the end of the year. Williams Nwaneri, almost the opposite. Again, played the snaps, but against those physical kind of run-first teams, kind of disappeared. It is proving it for Williams Nwaneri specifically being better against the run. How does Williams Nwaneri prove it this year?
Well, with all these guys, I know I'm going to keep repeating it. It's just being consistent. I mean, we saw flashes. Everybody's talking about, look, he has the NFL body type. You got the long arms. You're big. You're 250-some pounds. You got the get off. You showed the ability to rush the passer at times. Obviously, you were a top 5 overall recruit coming out of high school from Missouri. You went to Missouri, which is obviously known for putting defensive ends in the league for the last decade for sure.
Yeah.
And so now you're here at Nebraska. And so, it was a little bit of a whirlwind last year. Now you should be more immersed into what it takes to be successful. And so you have to be consistent. You got to be able to, for him, I would be like, I want to prove to people I can be as effective against the run as the pass. The more I play the run better, the better I'll be as a pass rusher. And so he has to just get better at his overall game. It comes probably from work habits and attention to detail. Like everybody on that defense, first or second team, besides like 3 guys. When you think about it.
Sure.
And the 3 guys that are probably the foundation pieces are probably, they got to continue to work too, but they're a little bit farther along. So for him, it's consistency day in and day out, and then the athletic ability to, it will show itself. And to be honest with you, everybody at Power 4 at every school has athletic ability and has potential.
Yeah.
Every team has a couple guys with NFL talent. Every team is going, and that's including like Purdue.
Mm-hmm.
So that can't be like what we're like. That's got to be just a part of it. The big part, that's 15%. The 85% is got to be the work, the sacrifice, and the willingness to get coached, accept the coaching, get better, get coached, accept the coaching, continue to get better day in and day out.
Big Hoss says Van Poppel is not a defensive tackle. He's a defensive end forced to play inside due to a lack of talent and depth in the defensive line room. True or false?
That is 1,000% false.
He's a D tackle.
He is 6'5", When he came in as a freshman, he was like 280 some pounds. He was a defensive tackle then. He's a defensive tackle now. He is not a defensive end. He's a good athlete for a big guy like that, so that might kind of make you think so. But he's a defensive tackle, day in and day out. Period.
Point blank.
Yeah.
Some other guys, Jay, that come to mind for me. We've talked a lot about Jeremiah Charles. He's one on the Omaha World Herald's list. Sip was in here talking on an early break about Victor Evans maybe snatching that other starting corner spot. Not to say it's over for Jeremiah Charles, so get his reps. I want to go to Vincent Shavers Jr., though. Again, I know you're going to go back to consistency, and I think that's the thing.
I know. It's like I can't I mean, I could lie to you and say it's something different.
But that's just the thing. For Vincent Shavers Jr., to me, it's not even boom or bust, right? I don't think he's been bad in terms of, he's just in the wrong place at the wrong time. But if he's going to be a big play linebacker, if because of his size, maybe he's a third down guy, right? Maybe he's more of a coverage guy. He's pretty good coming downhill. If he's in there, if he's not a starter, which again, we'll see, lots to be determined, either he needs to be a starter and flash that consistency, or if he's in a bench role, that to me is, okay, just go make a big play. Just go dislodge the football, plain and simple. Nebraska hasn't had a lot of that. And at least early in his career, that's been what Vincent Shavers Jr. has been the best at, is dislodging the football relative to the rest of Nebraska's linebackers. If he starts, great. He's taking a step forward in consistency. If he's not starting, I kind of want to see him as that, to use the baseball term, like the power pinch hit.
Yeah.
Bat against the bullpen. Hey, this guy's, pumping gas. Just go hit a home run, tie the game for us. That to me can be Vincent Shavers.
Yeah, so you want him to be like Dave Parker back in the day.
There
That's
we
one of
go.
my
There we
favorite
go.
Players that would come in DH, and that's all I need you to do is the Cobra. In a 7-game series, I need 2 homers and a couple big hits, because we know you can't stretch it that single or double into a triple.
Nope.
We need to make sure we have Ricky Henderson and stuff before, or Dave Henderson, and all those guys before you. But I think for Vincent Shavers, now number one is consistency, and then you will consistently get those splash plays. You're talking about splash plays. Those come naturally from being consistent. You know how you get splash plays? Consistently being in the right spot, consistently doing what you're supposed to do, and then using your natural explosiveness to dislodge the ball, and your physical traits that where he's kind of built like compact and powerful. Then it just naturally happens. You know what I'm saying? Because he already has the leverage. Then that'll happen more often. And whether they have you play in a nickel position, then play some middle, and then you're playing a little bit of both, you just have to embrace it, because the more that you can do, and the more that you can be consistent at just being consistently good, and it's more of a mindset for all these guys. Consistency comes from your mind, because the coaches are coaches can set up, like if I'm coaching 105 guys, I could just make a practice. I can make it hard and essentially make you work hard, because I can have a certain amount of plays and all, you know what I'm saying? So that's already kind of like the given, right?
Yeah.
Now, what needs to happen is the extra work, the extra attention to detail, the intention of showing up every day and trying to be your best player individually, your best linebacker core, and then collectively as a defense, and so forth and so on. That's what I mean by consistency. And he's part of it. And sure, it's a big year for him, because you've kind of been waiting, because I think he was a 4-star too, right?
Think so.
Yeah, 4-star. You come from Florida, and and I get it. Florida recruits, they just just play football different, and it does kind of somewhat mean more, and there's more great players that come out of there, and you kind of give them the benefit of doubt. So now we got to see you, perform at that level with like-minded guys around you and like-minded athletes around you. I need you to raise your level of play, because it will work out for you when that happens. You just have to stop worrying about when I'm running out on the field versus what I'm doing out there. Because the more you do what you're supposed to do when you're out there, you're going to be out there, whether you like it or not. And then you're going to be like, man, I got to get in better shape. And that's a good problem.
Let's switch sides of the ball to offense. A couple guys in the pass catching core. One that the World Herald mentions, and one that I think we can talk a little bit about, Carter Nelson. It's a guy whose name comes up quite a bit. And Jay, I'm willing to give Carter Nelson a little bit more of a pass for not having the breakout or being the instant impact for a couple reasons. And we probably know what they are. Number one, the injuries that he's been through. But I think that's in large part to number two, or letter B, coming from 8-man football, right? We know that high school to college is always a step up. But 8-man to Big Ten football, that's, a few steps, if not more, on the ladder. But I think this far along, as long as Carter Nelson is healthy and rehab and recovery have gone well for him, I think the acclimation period's over. Let's start to see it.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's, he kind of went through the process of kind of like this Jolly Green Giant coming from Ainsworth.
Yeah.
I mean, we were able to see him play basketball, and I was like,
Mhm.
yeah, he's, I remember when I saw Noah Fant, and I think I told Coach Riley, that dude's going first round. But you're looking at him as a defensive end. He just ran, corner routes and stuff and doing the stuff basketball wise. And we kind of thought that, Carter Nelson's a different type of athlete, more like I'll just say linear, just straight up and down, like very, very explosive, quick enough, but then anybody was physical. So I like the attributes. He was a
Straight line
competitor,
guy.
straight line
Mhm.
competitor, so you like that. And then you obviously need to get a little bit bigger and getting used to just playing college football, which you did. And so now you want to see more from it, right? I think last year, remember, he caught the ball. I think he had like a 26-yard gain or a touchdown. Remember, early in the season.
I think it was a Northern Iowa game.
Right,
Yeah.
right. And so you want to see that more often. And how can you use him? And how can he be of a tight end, more of an H-back or whatever it is, and use his ability? But that goes along with your practice habits, how you're approaching it every day, and making the coaches put an emphasis on highlighting your position and you as a player. So, yeah, this is a big year for him. And it's been an adjustment period. We've seen it. We went through the same thing with Fedoni. He seemed to come out of it. I mean, it was a good write up of him again, where he's continue to get better at the next level. So Carter Nelson has got to kind of stay down for the process and set himself up for success throughout this year, and then obviously going into next year.
This guy's been one of, quote unquote, my guys all offseason. I'll bring him up here again. Quinn Clark. And I don't know if Nebraska just keeps going, getting wide receivers because that's what they do, because DeKel Schwartz is a heck of a recruiter and a heck of a coach as well. And he's just able to land him. So, hey, you take talent. Or if it's something with Quinn Clark, right? Is there something in his development that hasn't gone exactly the way that the coach Schwartz wants? Because that's a guy that is long, is rangy, has the catch radius, has pretty good hands from what we've seen on the field right now as well. He's a guy I thought was going to be in line to start this year. I think it was third year on campus, fourth year on campus, whatever it is. I've been on the Quinn Clark train for a while now. He's not a projected starter, which isn't to say he's not going to play. But if not now, when, right? Can you give the coaches no reason to go recruit over you or go get another, power conference transfer because of the way you play this year? I'm curious to see how that goes.
I think he's going to play.
Oh, he's going to play.
Oh, he's going to play. And I think if he gets a chance, he's going to produce. And now, look, you got Gilmer, and then obviously you got Hunter, and then obviously you got Barney. So it can't be solely predicated on numbers, but also you're right where, we kind of have you have so many choices, then you can sometimes stymie the development and progress. But I think he's kind of worked his way through there. You got to think he just kind of showed up. They didn't even know that he was Ken Clark's son.
Yeah,
and
which is
he's
wild.
from like Montana somewhere, middle of nowhere. Showed up here, and obviously they're like, oh, okay, we might have a diamond in the rough. And from what I've been told, homeboy been putting in work since the day he got on campus. All right, so that is not going to change. Now, where he sets himself up as far as the future, I think at the wide receiver position, if he continues to develop and he gets chances to produce, and then he answers the call, it really won't matter what they do, because unless they get like a Jeremiah Smith, but then if they get Jeremiah Smith, then you have a partner in crime. So I think he kind of is on that path. And if they recruit like young guys and all that stuff, everybody goes through the same maturation process. Playing high school wide receiver is like child's play versus it's like the equivalent of playing the Turkey Bowl on Thanksgiving against your uncle that hasn't ran forward and backwards in 10 years versus when you come and playing in like the semi-pros, which is college football. It takes an adjustment period, and also it's a lot different competition level.
We'll switch gears a little bit here with this text from 1562, chiming in, I assume, on the Carter Nelson aspect, and maybe the Quinn Clark thing coming from, a ways away, but under the radar. 1562 says, if Nebraska is going to bring in local kids from small schools based on being good athletes, the program needs to be able to develop them, and we haven't seen consistent evidence that they can do that. That screams walk-on program back in the day to me in a lot of ways.
And that's kind of been eliminated with the new rules. So, I mean, I think it's just a process. I think look, the 5-for-5 helps out when they do this in the future. You bring it like the lineman that bringing in from Ashland Greenwood. He's a little undersized. He's going to need that 5-for-5. And Carter Nelson, look, he got banged up a little bit. I think his hips or something like that.
Yeah. Well, even Tyson Terry coming off the knee injury.
Just getting back healthy. And so, and I know I've said this before, but I keep saying development is a relationship. It's not one way.
No. It's a process and it's a relationship.
It's a relationship between the plan and the man. There we go. That's a new T-shirt. Since we never got a T-shirt, we got, you know what I'm saying?
If they showed up, you had to give it back.
Perch merch. You're right. That's it. You know what I'm saying? It's between the plan and the man. And why it's a relationship is because I can set forth a path or a plan for Austin. You have to go execute it, and we have to make it right. We have to adjust. And what I mean by that is like development is, okay, so like for me, when I got here, I was developmental project. I was a good athlete, played 3-sport and all that stuff, right? But, look, I was a man without a position pretty much.
Yeah.
I wasn't going to play running back. I don't even think that was an option. I mean, really, to be honest with you, I thought I was cold-blooded at running back. And they had guys there. They had Lawrence, they had Clinton, they had Damon, they had Marvin Sims was still here, but they had, Jay Sims that was there. They had plenty of guys there. And then Coach Darlington didn't want me as safety. I'm not gonna play corner, and I was not gonna play wingback. Because I saw the leading receiver had 28 catches and just cut blocked.
Nope.
No,
not happening.
And I never played defense. And then I kind of fell into linebacker, but I had to develop. So they probably had a plan or like, okay, well, see how he does in a year or two. Well, I had to accelerate that plan. So I had to make sacrifices to do that. Not saying that Carter hasn't, but that's part of development.
Yeah.
So then, when I'm playing and starting as a freshman in 1995 and then continue to play in 96, 97, 98, I was developed. But it was embracing what we had going on, maximizing that opportunity, and then doing extra that then paid off into being developed and reaching my potential and probably exceeding expectations.
Yeah.
Right. Not my own, but just what everybody thought. And then obviously it parlayed it to the next level. So when you talk about development, it can't be all on the coaches. It's on the players as well. It's because it's a relationship and it's got to work out. So maybe they need to, improve that. But I think, pointing at one person and not, I think that's just, that's the easy thing to do.
One other guy I would throw into this prove it player conversation would be Quentin Ives. Guy's been on campus for a while, doesn't have a whole bunch of in-game miles on the legs necessarily. And Jay, a guy the staff's been high on for a while. Not just the Amani Cross type power short yardage back where he's been used. They say he's got some home run speed to him as well.
Some quicks too. Yeah.
And yet he comes up fourth, maybe fifth in the conversation.
It's just a process. They look at if I would able to talk to him or say anything. There's a guy named Divine Ezigbo. Was probably the best example of a player being low on the depth chart and, battled some injuries. Like, what is he kind of was like, I had all this pension. Divine was a big old kid. And then he got his one opportunity in his third, fourth game. He did well. Then they tried to not play him. Then they had to play him. And then he took off so much that he had like 1,100 yards or something like that. Went over 1,000 in a very short period of time.
Yeah.
And then I remember they had his top end speed on ESPN or whatever, and it was 20-something miles an hour. And he ended up playing 6-7 years in the NFL. So I'm Quentin Ives. The biggest thing I want to do, I feel confident that I'm healthy. I got my body under control. I have the frame that kind of what is appealing. Obviously, I have the Big Ten frame, so I have something that all the guys are not. Well, yeah, all the guys in the room don't have. And so now I just got to just work while I wait, continue to be consistent, and then when they're talking in their staff meetings, they could say, Quentin Ives, okay, this is a lot different. He's been consistent. And then when you get a chance, they'll be more apt to put you in there. And then once you get it, you make that opportunity last a lifetime.
Some opportunities are once in a lifetime. Sometimes that's the ability to get paid in the transfer portal. How much does a Power 4 starter cost out of the portal? We can compare year over year as well. ESPN did it in 25. They did an update again in 2026. We'll We'll get to that next on Old School.
Watch Old School live on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals just like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait, apply now.
Yesterday, your water heater worked just fine. Today, surprise! When you're out of hot water, just call the plumbers at Bryant. In most cases, you can get same-day water heater replacement. What you won't get is a costly surprise with the bill. At Bryant, the price you're quoted is the price you'll pay. No last-minute extras for piping or ventilation alterations. Need a new water heater? Just call Bryant, 467-1111. Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing. We do whatever it takes.
MHC isn't a new company, just a new name. Moe's Moving is now Moe's Home and Commercial. Whether moving across town or across the state, MHC Moving has you covered, specializing in home, apartment, assisted, and independent living moves. MHC can handle your commercial moves as well. MHC Moving has 0 hidden fees. You'll never pay for same-day booking or be charged for stairs, heavy items, or elevator fees. Rates are the same Monday through Saturday, and you will never pay a truck or fuel surcharge. And they offer payment plans through PayPal. Call MHC Moving today at 402-853-7167 or go to mhcmoving.com.
If one of the things running through your mind as a business owner is the recurring worry of possible cyber attacks, you can let out a sigh of relief. Hamilton Business Technologies has you covered. As the official business IT partner of the Huskers, we offer real-time threat monitoring, advanced security protocols, and more to keep your data safe from harm. We care about the success of Nebraska businesses and communities like yours. Learn how we can help you at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
In every city, every town, there's a Husker fan. You show up, you stand out no matter where the road takes you. And wherever Husker Nation goes, life doesn't slow down. That's why Emeritus makes dental and vision coverage simple. Quick quotes, affordable options, and nationwide access for fans everywhere. Choose the coverage that fits your journey. Emeritus, fulfilling life, fueled by Husker pride. Go to emeritus.com/Husker Dental for more information.
At the Nebraska State Fair, you never know what you'll experience. Maybe it's watching your kid fall in love with a baby goat. Maybe it's that first bite of something deep-fried and incredible. Maybe it's the moment everyone puts their phone down because core memories are forming right in front of them. It all happens here at the Nebraska State Fair, August 28th through September 7th in Grand Island. Visit statefair.org.
Where there's smoke, there's flavor, and there's plenty of that at the Smokehouse at Super Saver in Russ's Market. Award-winning, old-world recipes made in Lincoln since 1984 with many flavors and smoked sausage and brats to choose from. The Smokehouse has something special for every season: brats and sausage for the grill, beef sticks and beef jerky for snacking, and smoked salmon, smoked turkey, and smoked hams for your holiday feast. Stop by the Smokehouse at Super Saver in Russ's Market today to fulfill your search for real flavor.
Perch Merch is your one-stop shop for all your printing and promotional needs in Lincoln, Nebraska. They specialize in screen printing, embroidery, vehicle wraps, window wraps, print collateral, promotional products, and signage. At Perch Merch, they're committed to delivering high-quality products and exceptional customer service. Their experienced team of designers and printing professionals will work with you every step of the way to ensure that your vision is realized. Call for a quote today at 402-217-5212 or go to perchmerch.com.
The Friends with Jim DeFreeze Auto Parts here in Lincoln would like to take this time out to thank our first responders, doctors, nurses, and the healthcare professionals who put their lives in harm's way for our protection. Blood donation centers need people to donate blood. Be a silent hero and donate blood today. It will help accident victims, surgery patients, sick children, and members of our military. This message is from Jim DeFreeze Auto Parts here in Lincoln. Let's stay united and keep America safe and strong.
Back to Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket.
Talking building some rosters here in college football. Austin Norman, Jay Foreman with you, but building all sorts of incredible structures across Lincoln and the whole of Nebraska. Really, it's Schwezo Construction, where safety isn't just a policy, it's a promise. Schwezo is hiring skilled craftsmen, laborers, concrete workers, and steel erectors who value quality work and a team that has your back on and off the job site. Apply today to join their team at schwizo.com, schwisow.com. 40-plus years strong in business and still building more. It is Schwezo Construction. 402-464-5685 if you want to be a part of the show. Jay Foreman, we are looking at the prices. The prices out of the transfer portal for the average of Power 4 starter position by position. We'll start in the 2026 numbers, and we can go back to the 2025 numbers just for reference. And because, of course, we should, let's go ahead and start at linebacker. Typical range for a Power 4 starter out of the portal or to retain them, $300K to $700K.
I mean, all that is breaking bread, especially if you get it for like multiple years.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. Because, I mean, you know, you come in at 300. Okay, like say you a freshman, right? Say I come in my freshman year, right? They gave me a little change. Now they paying high school seniors now, so I already broke bread once.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and then say I just had my first year. I just got my feet wet. You know, I played a couple games, showed a little flashes. All right, you kept me at the same pay grade. But then that sophomore then that second that freshman year,
mm-hmm.
something happens, and then I got out there and got jiggy with it. Oh yeah, I got that 300. First of all, I get jiggy with it. I'm coming to see you,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and you take care of me, so it might not be 300 then, but you already know because I'm looking at you sideways now.
Mm-hmm.
When I dropped back to back 12 tackles, a tackle for loss, got me a sack, and don't let me get an interception.
Woo.
And then that third year I get that 300, and then I maximize again. Oh yeah, I gotta get that 7.
Woo.
Somebody give me that 7.
Mm-hmm.
And then I got the luxury to look at the draft after that. And
That's
say,
called leverage.
Well, yeah, to say, all right, man, I'm gonna go. No, there's too many linebackers. There's too much dip on my chip out there. I'm gonna chill right here.
Make it a mill.
Yeah. Oh yeah, because I'm bringing leadership skills and guaranteed I'm gonna answer the bell.
Got done it for 3 years, coach.
Oh yeah, and the fourth is just because I put in that work. Oh yeah. That's just the linebacker position. And just think if you played offensive tackle, like Michael Irvin said, if you could stand in front of somebody for 3 seconds, you will get paid $30 million. 50 if you're $50 million by the time if you're a high school senior by the time you go to the league. Woo. And all you got to do is be in shape, be strong, be tough, and obviously know your playbook and stay in front of somebody for 3 seconds. And
so get the non-negotiables and then stay in front of someone for 3 seconds.
And it's not even that because they run so much quick game.
Second and a half.
Yeah.
Can you do it?
Yeah, because the money changes you. Because remember Jackson Cantwell?
Yep.
Yeah, he was all about staying in the Midwest, Nebraska included.
Mm-hmm.
Miami came with them ducats. Yeah, you down there on South Beach. That's a fact.
Number 4 on that freaks list, by the way.
But it's a fact, though.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? He's looking at, they looked at ever seen those real estate shows where they have the silent bids
mm-hmm.
and the person selling the place can look at the envelopes? Yeah, and then the Miami envelope was just a little bit thicker.
A little thicker.
Yeah. And all of a sudden you want to go down to South Beach.
The market for offensive tackles that you mentioned it. Let's see here. Offensive tackles, typical range, $600K to $1.25 million. Guards and centers, $400,000 to $800,000.
That's about right. About right. Now, here's what I would say. That should be for good ones. These numbers should be for viable players. Not just guys that you have to keep or you decide to keep that really aren't that good.
The write-up from ESPN, the paydays for big men are getting bigger every year. If you're a Power 4 program determined to re-sign your top starting tackle, you had to be ready to pay between $1 million and $1.4 million in many cases. If you needed to find a new tackle in the portal, those recruiting battles easily got up to the $1.2 to $1.5 million range. One agent said, "I'm always asking for $1 million. If you want to be in the game, you've got to be in that range."
Yeah, but he's having players that can demand that.
Mm-hmm.
Where you run into trouble, or where teams have run into trouble, and we saw it with Florida State a few years ago. We've seen it with Clemson last year.
Mm-hmm.
and it's even with the guys they retain. And that was a kind of a weird year, anyways. LSU last year, with Brian Kelly. Sometimes you're just paying that money just to pay it because you think you have to pay it.
Yeah.
And the players aren't worth it. You have to really have a value evaluation process and be able to evaluate players that can come and that's not just what they do on the field. How will they, work in the locker room? What are they like as a young man? Because some guys get a little money and they're so short-sighted they think it just lasts forever and they just shut down. And that's what you worry about these high school kids.
Mm-hmm.
Because look, if you're going to Power 4, you should be dominating in high school. You should look different. But then if you get overpaid, if you're a high, profile recruit or a team needs you at a certain position, and then when you get here, you don't answer the bell, well, sure, you made that little money there, but that's nothing. Because you got 5 years to do something or 4 after your freshman year.
Yeah.
So you have to be careful of these numbers, which are legit in some cases because it's the way they are. And there's some schools that are just willing to just overpay, and that's where the numbers kind of get inflated. And that's where when you kind of look at the market, make sure that you spend wisely, but the return on investment or it has to match up with it. And a lot of it depends on where you're at as a school in like my experience in the NFL. One of the things I always talked about Houston is that, we would overpay for guys and agents knew we could go get number one, we had a ton of salary cap space. So we were always a place where guys could go. But then we were overpaying for guys because we hadn't drafted well or developed well, which, you miss on the draft in Houston is different than you miss in college because you can go to the portal now.
Yeah.
And guys are coming and, breaking bread. And so then I felt when Charlie Castle was there, he just blew up the team, which would give him and the head coach or people up there, it would give them longer tenures. Now, you don't really see that in college, but if you're a GM or something, you got to make sure that you don't overpay for the sake of overpaying.
And that's just the thing, because it's both art and science, right? I can respect, I have a good inclination that Nebraska football, Nebraska basketball as well, are pretty good about setting their numbers. And sure, you'll have a little bit of negotiation, but it's not haggling necessarily, right? I think that Nebraska has done generally a pretty good job of going into the portal and saying, hey, this is what we have. This is what we can offer you. Because I do think that they're not just pulling numbers out of nowhere. I think they have models. I think they have valuation models. I think a big part of that is Pat Stewart's experience in the NFL, right? Coming from the Patriots, who like Jay, we're very good about that, right? Very rarely were they big players in free agency. They let their guys walk, right? Hey, You're going to reach this number. We can't afford to pay that. We don't want to risk paying that. We'll draft, we'll develop, we'll find, not necessarily bargain bin guys, but I think Nebraska's been pretty good about setting the number and sticking to it and walking away if it goes too high. But the flip side of that is sometimes you just feel like you need to fill a position, right?
Yeah.
If you go to the portal and your younger guys don't develop, or you go to the portal 1 year and then the next year the guy gets hurt and you can't play him and you're thin at a position. Okay, then you might just have to overpay a little bit. But every time you make an exception, it makes it easier to make the next exception.
Yeah, and sometimes you have to get a guy because you need to, get numbers. And say you strike out on your top 3 guys. Well, that doesn't mean you pay your number 4 or 5 or 6 pick at that certain position, number 1 or 2 money. So
Right.
you have to be smart on that. But then also, when you get in those spots, right, you just don't throw away money, in my opinion. I think that you have to, okay, we missed out on our top 2 guys. All right, who's next and where can we get them at a price range? But then also, let's not just keep them here just to keep. Let's see what we can. Let's pay for a guy that maybe we have to work a little bit more diligently. Maybe we need to get him to trim some weight, whatever it is, or we got to get him stronger or whatever that we can. All right, let's get a huge return on our investment. Let's make every single move to get the maximum. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's a hard thing to do. It's because also I would say this, and you see this with Nebraska basketball. Sure, it's great. Your numbers. You can stick and stand pat at your numbers when you have a team and you like that just coming back and you have consistently been a winner, because that means more people are going to be knocking at your door.
Knocking at your door, not you knocking at
right.
theirs.
And so you have to be careful. You have to understand where you're at, right? And that's the thing. Nebraska basketball is trying to get to that point where you can be very prudent, and they've had to do more or less. But then also, like if you're not spending, then you're going to hear from all the fans, we're not spending enough money. Well, you're not donating enough, but you're not spending enough money. So you have to be able to do it in the right way, and obviously you have to make sure that everybody's on board to do it, because that's the only way it's going to work. Even with the guys that you pay a lot of money for, everybody has to be lock and step on how this process is going to go for them to be successful, or it'll bottom out.
Dan from Canopy wants to know the question: how long can the money last? Return on investment has to come into play. Looking at the 26 numbers year over year from the 25 numbers, Jay, pretty much across the board, there's been like $100,000 jump from the baseline and in the upper end under, pretty much across the board, with maybe a $300,000 jump here and there. But how long's the money gonna last? As long as it needs to, right? College sports has really found a way, or until it doesn't, might be the better answer. I'm not sure, but that's why I think it's so important for Nebraska to continually be in the college football playoff discussion. I mean, think about how much money Ohio State, Miami have made by going further and further, right? Yeah, it's chicken in the egg. Indiana, obviously, right? It's chicken in the egg. You need money to compete. In some cases, is there enough? Probably, but you'll get more on top of it. And then you can, go from buying store brand to buying name brand, whatever you want to describe it as. And so, you have to do more with less, but you should have enough already. But it's not going to hurt to be in the college football playoff and getting those sweet travel checks and, rights
bowl
checks
game bonuses and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And it increase your profile. You get the free marketing of being, one of the final 4 or final 8 and have exciting games. You can't put a price tag on that. And then that obviously will, I guess, help people donate more and more freely, because they see their return on investment is seeing success on the field and seeing their dollars in their mind being put to good use for success. And that means that, seasons, bowl games, bowl victories, and all that type of stuff. So it is important. It is important. That's why winning is the best NIL for everybody, or whatever you want to call it, NIL, rev share. That's the best thing out there. I mean, you'll sell more hats, you'll sell more jerseys, you'll have more NIL opportunities, legit ones. You'll have more pay for play opportunities. You'll have more donations. You have to win. That's why I keep saying that if, when you look at what has Miami done, sure, they got an uptick in money, a few years ago. That's how Cristobal got there. He got a commitment from him. Well, what he did, he came in and changed the culture. And, sure, it was a little bit of, and he even said it himself. I think for you Nebraska fans, go back to look at Mario Cristobal and then obviously look at the videos of his practice. You'll see guys like me at his practice all the time. You'll see guys like me in his meetings. You'll see Jason Taylor. First of all, and sure, Jason Taylor was a Hall of Fame player. Is. He never coached before. That wasn't a problem for him.
Right.
How's the payoff? Here's the point, is he has embraced the new era of football with the old school mentality, mixed them together, and it works. Yeah. So for people, and how is that important? The university and the powers that be it bought into it. Everybody was in the same mode. They slowly but surely starting to win. Remember 2 years ago, they were outside looking in probably by one bad half of football. Really? Too many comeback victories for Cam Ward, right? Yeah. Let's see him do it. Great. Worked out great for Cam Ward. Didn't work out for the team. What did he do? He doubled down on Jason Taylor. He doubled down on Antron Royal. He doubled down on Michael Barrow being there, right? Now you see the difference. More money came in, more victories. They're able to go get a quarterback now out of the portal after hitting on 2, and they have another one.
He didn't make it about the money, but he certainly put it to good use.
Yeah. Excuse me. The money came. Yeah, he asked for the money, right?
Got the promise.
Put it to good use, and then got more money with the wins.
Yeah.
And then he figured out, as we had success, what do we really need to do to get to that next level? The whole mentality of that team changed, even though the mentality was set forth by Cam Ward. It was a big part of it, but then it went through the whole team. It went through the offensive line. Then you get able to have 2-headed monster at running back. You get Malachi Toney with that defense. Now the defense is going to be the stalwart this year. The offense has to catch up.
Mm-hmm.
And the money is flowing because those game checks, one of them essentially went to the quarterback from Duke potentially. And that's why I don't think that $10 million they were talking about is probably a little bit less, but he had to buy out the contract from Duke and go from there.
Brian, you're in on YouTube. Appreciate you and your comments there. GBR Captain as well. We got Derek in the car, Elaine, Dan from Canopy on the Starter Heyman Jewelers text line. As always, you can be part of the show, 402-464-5685, the number to the Starter Heyman Jewelers text line. Starter Heyman also sponsors our streams where you can leave comments. We'll be back to wrap up hour 2 of the show right after this.
You're listening to Old School with Jay Foreman and Austin Orman. Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Perch Merch is your one-stop shop for all your printing and promotional needs in Lincoln, Nebraska. They specialize in screen printing, embroidery, vehicle wraps, window wraps, print collateral, promotional products, and signage. At Perch Merch, they're committed to delivering high-quality products and exceptional customer service. Their experienced team of designers and printing professionals will work with you every step of the way to ensure that your vision is realized. Call for a quote today at 402-217-5212 or go to perchmerch.com.
Start your Sundays off right with Jeff and Nicole Essink on Fitness Fanatics. Jeff and Nicole discuss health and wellness, how to achieve fitness goals, and more through the life of gym owners and gym goers. It's Fitness Fanatics from 9 to 11 a.m. on Sundays on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Where there's smoke, there's flavor, and there's plenty of that at the Smokehouse at Super Saver in Russ's Market. Award-winning Old World recipes made in Lincoln since 1984 with many flavors and smoked sausage and brats to choose from. The Smokehouse has something special for every season: brats and sausage for the grill, beef sticks and beef jerky for snacking, and smoked salmon, smoked turkey, and smoked hams for your holiday feast. Stop by the Smokehouse at Super Saver in Russ's Market today to fulfill your search for real flavor.
The friends with Simply Home Builders here in Lincoln would like to take this time out to thank our first responders, doctors, nurses, and the healthcare professionals who put their lives in harm's way for our protection. Blood donation centers need people to donate blood. Be a silent hero and donate blood today. It will help accident victims, surgery patients, sick children, and members of our military. This message is from Simply Home Builders here in Lincoln, building amazing homes for our community for over a decade.
Hey, Jake, you know what I love almost as much as the Big Red?
Big scores on the field?
Good guess, but nope.
Big spikes on the court?
Love those too, but I'm thinking food. Like those big, budget-friendly portions you find at Buzzard Billy's.
Now you're talking. I love Buzzard Billy's. I love the shrimp po' boys and the blackened chicken.
You almost always find me enjoying gumbo.
Big plays, big scores, big wins, Big Red. Yep, love them all, especially
those big portions that are budget-friendly. Only at Buzzard Billy's, A-Market.
If you're seeking a career with a growing company, Gaina Trucking and Excavating is hiring and looking for additions to their team. Gaina Trucking has a strong team culture, competitive pay, 401ks, and benefits like health, dental, and vision. Drivers are guaranteed 40 hours per week, even in the winter months, and are home every night. Start your career today at Gaina Trucking and Excavating. Apply today at GainaTrucking.com.
I can't believe I just scratched that car. Find my insurance card.
Dude, what do you have in this glove box? Ew, are these socks dirty?
Oh, forget about the socks. I need my insurance card.
Just pull it up on the State Farm mobile app.
But I can do that? Oh, hey, I can do that.
Yep, it's called service.
I can file a claim on here too?
Yeah, it's called service.
Whoa, I can call my agent too?
It's called service.
Call your local State Farm agent, Vinny Krikak, today at 402-474-1173.
Big box stores are tempting for buying equipment for your high schooler in sports or for yourself in your sports leisures. But buying new is awfully expensive. Why not go somewhere with new and used options? Play It Again Sports has quality, slightly to gently used equipment, and 50% of their inventory is actually new equipment. It's more than baseball, softball, and golf. They also have equipment for disc golf, fitness, hockey, and more. Plus, they're always buying products. Bring your gear that you're done with and get trade money on the spot. Play It Again Sports at 48th and Vine.
Building a new home can be a challenge, a lot of big choices. With our Remington homes, we have designed 15 different floor plans that appeal to a wide range of people.
Bob Benish of Aspen Builders, talking about Remington Homes, which makes the home building process easier
People really enjoy being able to go to our website, which is remingtonlincoln.com, pick a plan, pick a price point, go through and build it yourself. You have a lot of options, whether you want granite, painted trim, wood floors, more stone, all options with our Remington homes. People do not want to be married to their house payment. You're able to get what you really want in a home for a great price with very limited stress. And that's what Remington homes are all about.
Home building is easier with a Remington home from Aspen Builders at 423-6811. Online at remingtonlincoln.com. remingtonlincoln.com.
Rosie's Sports Bar and Grill. Open for lunch and dinner at 1501 Center Park Road, just south of 14th and Highway 2.
Back to Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket.
Welcome back into this Old School. We're wrapping up hour 2 of the show. Austin Norman, Jay Foreman with you. 402-464-5685, our starter, Heyman Jewelers text line if you want to be a part of things. We got this from Derek in the car. Whoa, what's this? Pete Ferguson.
Yeah.
The man. Coming through the
Hook
Bobby
you
Wood
up.
Jr. Look at this.
I know. Hook
Bobby
you up.
Baseball. He's the man. Thank you, Pete. That's pretty sick.
I know. He hooks you up.
He does. First, Beckett has a Bobby Witt Jr. bobblehead. Thinking this one probably goes in Cooper's room now.
There you
You
go.
got to balance it out, right? That's the joy of parenthood. Is when you get cool things, your kids get cool things. So they like the same cool things you do.
They're living the life, man. Now you know they like it. Or you just influencing them.
Got to start somewhere.
That's right.
Gotta
That's right.
start somewhere,
That's right.
you
That's
know?
right. That's right.
I
You
will
put it
say
in,
there
and they ain't got no choice.
there are 3 things I'm going to push on my children when it comes to sports: Nebraska, the Royals, and Duke basketball. Other than that, like,
that's not bad choices.
You know, the Colts have just hurt me, disappointed me, been lame enough that if they root for the Colts with me, great. But my family doesn't have an NFL team. We are all over the board. I'm a Colts fan. My dad is Cowboys/Chiefs. One brother's a Packers fan. One brother's a Saints fan.
Yeah, you guys are all over the place.
We are.
But the one brother that's the
completely
Chiefs fan, he's winning.
That's my dad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's winning right now.
He is. He is. We got this on our starter Heyman Jewelers text line to wrap up the hour. Derek in a car says, I wish the NCAA would have gotten out in front of NIL. And yes, I think we all do at this point. But he continues to say, and set a ceiling on each position. Cap quarterback, running back, etc. at $1 million, scale down from there. It's a crap show, and you can have position minimums. Everybody gets paid something. What do you think of the idea of capping the rev share payments by position in football?
I think it'd make it a lot easier.
But
I never want to take any money away from any of the players because, look, we didn't get paid anything. I'm happy for these guys to get paid. A lot of them will never make it to the NFL, so they're able to kind of set themselves up, well before they get out there into the real world. So, I want them to get as much money as possible. But for the betterment of the game, they're going to have. I think they should have what I call a rookie salary cap. That means a salary cap for players in their first 2 years, right? And sure, you'll have the outlier, the Malachi Tonys and all that stuff, but then you have to find different ways for them.
But isn't there value of those guys still being under the same system and then they can cash in later? To abide by the rookie scale and then, like you said, find other ways, NIL outside of that?
The first 2 years maybe, and then really set some parameters on the NIL stuff where it's true NIL, which will obviously help both parties. It'll help him build his brand.
Mm-hmm.
You hate to see players get underpaid, but once you hit certain parameters, your school or another school you're going to get back for those next 2 or 3 years. So
yeah,
I like to see that. But then also, in the position room, I think it would help for the rev share to say, hey, look, quarterbacks are making this. This is the most that they can make. And then you can maybe pick and choose if you want to take some from one position to another, but really, really be stingy on the cap space per room, so that where you won't have as much movement. So you only got one transfer portal, and it would kind of really be more of a clear-cut functioning salary cap right now.
But let's not forget, the rookie salary cap didn't just appear. It wasn't like 30 owners said, hey, we're only going to pay our rookies this much. That's called collusion.
Yeah.
That was collectively bargained. The players had a say in that, and they agreed.
Because they know it was hurting the game.
Yeah.
And, I always talk about you had tight ends coming in, and they were getting, I think Eric Ebron might have been one of them, getting paid more than like Tony Gonzalez.
Woo.
When they were coming in getting those crazy contracts and
Yeah.
stuff like that. And Dominican Sue as well. Now, he ended up being really, really good, but he was the highest paid defensive tackle, hadn't played in the league yet. And so they really got that, turned around, and I think it's made it better for the NFL, and they have more structure, and has allowed the, teams that have to have, I guess, more continuity, and there hasn't been as much movement in free agency as well. So, I think, and it helps the development too, you have guys that are like come in as backup, like forget his name, is Williams, that played for the Eagles, was a rotational player, ended up starting.
Milton.
Yes. Super Bowl, got paid. He leaves. The other two guys that you got for Davis and Carter, now they get paid. Ty Robinson's there. So you're able to kind of build some more like consistency if you really work the salary cap right and you really draft right. And that's no different than in college football.
You mentioned Jalen Carter. He might be getting jammed up pretty soon. Him and Nakobe Dean and that whole Steve Keim thing.
Steve Keim needs to be jammed up.
Well, yeah, but you got those players involved too, apparently.
Yeah, they were the victims.
They are.
Yeah.
I'm saying their names along with it.
I don't think they'll lose any games, but they are
Unless
they are a victim from Steve Keim. I don't know if you get a chance, listen to DeAndre Hopkins talk about him, how he literally like I'll call it poison his drug test and cost him $13 million because he wanted to keep him under a certain amount of salary cap or money when he's a free agent. Oh yeah. It's a dirty business.
Strikes me as illegal.
You see how quickly he got fired? He was doing more than that up there. He was a fast riser and a fast faller. He'll never work in the NFL again. And I'm gonna tell you this, the guys infiltrating the locker room like that. When you talk about that, where you have a guy that you got to think a GM that he should be trusted. And then he's working, trying to do e-commerce stuff and all this other stuff. So you really don't know you trust him because he worked for the NFL. You expect to be vetted. There was a situation down in Houston. It was actually the year I left. A guy that worked for the team where a guy came in and threw this guy, and I hated for him because I felt like the guy was oddly enough, is our player development guy. And they came in and like ram shot through the whole locker room. And then you had the thing down in New Orleans and stuff like that with Drew Brees and them. I mean, look, this is what these kids these days, and so this is where I know we're up against the clock where you can't just. I don't think you can have just one player development guy. I think you got to have multiple in different ways. And the reason why it's important because these kids now are coming in are targets. Everybody knows. The parents know of people that so they're being targeted, and you can't protect all 105 kids.
Unfortunately
not.
Where it goes back to
you can't protect grown men against guys that were decision makers and higher ups.
Yeah.
You can't trust your boss. He's the guy that signs your checks.
Right.
It's tough.
It's been a big day for the color purple, Jay. Kyler Murray named the Vikings starting quarterback yesterday. Northwestern rolling in the dough. The Los Angeles Lakers just got sold again. And Matt Ishbia, owner of the Suns, might be in some trouble. Let's go through the four purple teams you just mentioned there to start hour 3 of the show. Come back with us.
Watch Old School live on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Perch Merch is your one-stop shop for all your printing and promotional needs in Lincoln, Nebraska. They specialize in screen printing, embroidery, vehicle wraps, window wraps, print collateral, promotional products, and signage. At Perch Merch, they're committed to delivering high-quality products and exceptional customer service. Their experienced team of designers and printing professionals will work with you every step of the way to ensure that your vision is realized. Call for a quote today at 402-217-5212 or go to perchmerch.com.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
When your business is ready for its next move, I'm here to help make it happen. I'm Corey Vandeweghe, Commercial Loan Officer at Midwest Bank on 70th and Pioneers Boulevard. Lincoln is full of bold ideas and hardworking business owners, and I'm proud to support the people driving that progress. Whether you're launching something new or investing in growth, I'll work with you to find lending solutions that move your business forward. Swing in anytime. I'd love to hear what you're building. Your community, your bank, Midwest Bank, Member FDIC.
I can't believe I just scratched that car. Find my insurance card.
Dude, what do you have in this glove box? Ew, are these socks dirty?
Forget about the socks. I need my insurance card.
Just pull it up on the State Farm mobile app.
But I can do that? Oh, hey, I can do that.
Yep, it's called service.
I can file a claim on here too?
Yeah, it's called service.
Whoa, I can call my agent too?
It's called service.
Call your local State Farm agent, Vinny Krikak, today at 402-474-1173.
If you're seeking a career with a growing company, Gaina Trucking and Excavating is hiring and looking for additions to their team. Gaina Trucking has a strong team culture, competitive pay, 401ks, and benefits like health, dental, and vision. Drivers are guaranteed 40 hours per week, even in the winter months, and are home every night. Start your career today at Gaina Trucking and Excavating. Apply today at GainaTrucking.com.
Big box stores are tempting for buying equipment for your high schooler in sports or for yourself in your sports leisures. But buying new is awfully expensive. Why not go somewhere with new and used options? Play It Again Sports has quality, slightly to gently used equipment, and 50% of their inventory is actually new equipment. It's more than baseball, softball, and golf. They also have equipment for disc golf, fitness, hockey, and more. Plus, they're always buying products. Bring your gear that you're done with and get trade money on the spot. Play It Again Sports at 48th and Vine.
The friends with Simply Home Builders here in Lincoln would like to take this time out to thank our first responders, doctors, nurses, and the healthcare professionals who put their lives in harm's way for our protection. Blood donation centers need people to donate blood. Be a silent hero and donate blood today. It will help accident victims, surgery patients, sick children, and members of our military. This message is from Simply Home Builders here in Lincoln, building amazing homes for our community for over a decade.
At Anderson Ford, we offer a 5-day return or exchange policy, so you can make sure the vehicle you choose is the best vehicle for you. No pressure. Right now, lease a 2026 Ford F-150 for $195 per month for 36 months. Experience better at Anderson Ford. Stock number 1009974. $195 per month lease for 36 months with approved credit. 7,500 miles per year. 10,000 due at signing. No security deposit required. Tax, title, and license fees expert. Residency restrictions apply. Program subject to change. Must take new retail delivery from Anderson Auto Group by 8/31/26.
Some moments deserve more than ordinary jewelry. At Sartor Heyman, we've helped Lincoln celebrate life's biggest occasions for over 120 years. With quality craftsmanship, timeless gifts, and diamonds you can see from across the room. From our exclusive Heartland collection to custom design pieces, every detail is made with care by experienced jewelers you can trust. Whether you're celebrating love, family, milestones, Sartor Heyman has a gift for every occasion in life.
If you like freedom and you like floors, ditch the box stores and shop Freedom Floor and find the best luxury vinyl, tile, hardwood, laminate, carpet, and experts at Freedom Flooring. Visit our showroom at 4815 South 14th Street in Lincoln. If you like freedom and you like floors, ditch the box stores and shop Freedom Flooring, a Shaw Floors dealer.
Coming at you live from the heart of downtown Lincoln, this is Old School with Foreman and Orman. Nebraska Football Hall of Famer Jay Foreman.
Here's Troy Detmer dropping straight back in the pocket. Rifles a pass. It was tipped. It's picked off by Foreman. He's at the 15, 10, 5. He'll score! Foreman got it, and it's touchdown Huskers.
Black shirts, answer the call one more time.
And Austin Orman. Old School with Foreman and Orman is sponsored by Graham Tire Company of Lincoln, your tire store next door with 4 Lincoln locations. Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
That's right. Welcome in. It is hour 3 of Old School, 93.7 The Ticket, ticketfm.com. He's Jay Foreman. I'm Austin Orman. Another hour of Old School here to go on a Wednesday. Rain is cleared out. Happier skies maybe in Minnesota and Northwestern. Some cloudy skies in Los Angeles and Phoenix. We'll get to that after we tell you about our good friends over at Graham Tire Company. Celebrating 75 years of serving the Midwest. More than just tires, they do all kinds of car and light truck repairs too. From brakes to oil changes, trust Graham Tire for service you can count on. Graham Tire, getting you to the places that matter most. Big thanks to everyone chiming in on the Sartor Heyman Jewelers text line at Lane. My dad, Derek, in a car. Dan from Canopy, 1998, 1562, et cetera, et cetera. Appreciate everyone's involvement in the show. But, Jay, let's get to The headlines for these teams in purple will start in football before we move to the basketball stuff. Kyler Murray, starter in Minnesota. Not necessarily a huge surprise after they go out and pluck him from Arizona. Does it say more about Kyler Murray? Does it say more about J.J. McCarthy?
Well, I mean, it says a lot in their mind about J.J. McCarthy. And I guess less about Kyler Murray. I mean, I think when they went out in free agency, got him, it's a 1-year prove-it deal. You knew he was going to start. I mean, you just could tell the difference on how Kevin O'Connell talked about Kyler Murray versus McCarthy. And it's a sucky situation for McCarthy. You come off winning a national championship, you get picked high, you get hurt in the preseason, show some flashes, and then all of a sudden they turn the page on you. But I think there's more to J.J. McCarthy than meets the eye if you do some digging. And that resonates.
He's got an alter ego. Is that what we're talking about?
No. No. He's shown some flashes. I mean, I think you go back to the Chicago game, the last drive or whatever, that's it. But before that, you were just pathetic. Part of the reason you go with Kyler Murray is so you don't lose Justin Jefferson and Addison and then just blow up the whole thing. You got a really good defense, a veteran, on offense. You need a mature
heck of a play caller.
Yeah, a great play and a quarterback. I won't say whisperer, but a guy that's literally got Darnold and Daniel Jones paid.
Yeah,
and and then so what does it say about J.J. McCarthy? You probably haven't progressed as much, and then Kyler Murray needs an opportunity to prove that he's still a franchise quarterback or the Vikings franchise quarterback. And so it's a great situation for him. J.J. McCarthy's got to be a professional. It's easier said than done. But if you want to really have a look-see and how it could turn out in your favor, look no further than Sam Darnold, and then look no further than Daniel Jones. Both of them were high draft choices and didn't work out at their original destinations, excuse me. And people were trying to turn the page on them. They go to, Kevin O'Connell, or they go to a backup role. You could look at Baker Mayfield, and next thing you know, you're a franchise quarterback. So it's not totally closed, but he has to change some things within him before he's going to change anything on the field.
I like the landing spot for Kyler Murray. I really like it for Justin Jefferson. I'm curious to see it's going to be a much different system for Kyler coming over from Arizona to Minnesota. Of course, there's going to be an adjustment period. Do we give Justin Jefferson enough props for not going full diva wide receiver with that quarterback situation last year?
Yeah,
Holy cow, man.
I think his maturity is beyond his years. If you're able to watch that wide receiver show on Netflix, you see he's a really good kid, humble kid, great family. And so he handled it like a pro. He still was very productive. And then also he has a lot of confidence in O'Connell and the Vikings organization as well, that he can talk freely with them. And then they respect him enough not to put the family business out on the street. And so I'm sure he's frustrated. I would be frustrated if I'm a wide receiver of his caliber and not having a franchise quarterback, that's throwing me the ball, because all of his counterparts throughout the league have that. And so Kyler Murray is probably the best choice that they could have and come up with it. And, I think Justin Jefferson said it last year. He's like, JJ has to change some things, and it's not just on the field. He said it. And so he could probably start without using the hard R. But I think Kyler Murray, I think if you ever need a quarterback that's, they always say guys perform in contract years. Kyler Murray's he's in a career year, because I don't think Kyler Murray would be appealing to too many teams as being a backup.
Yeah, no.
Right?
Tend to agree. It would take a big mindset.
Because his skill set doesn't fit the majority of the league. You get what I'm saying? To run scout team, because that's what you are as a backup. Now, I think he could do it and be a good veteran to players, but he has to show that. In the meantime, I don't think the mesh between him and J.J. McCarthy has been copacetic at all.
Haddo says there's nothing special about J.J. Terrible draft pick. He might as well be another Christian Ponder. IQ Crew says McCarthy benefited from Connor Stalions at Michigan. First-round draft pick with Stalions' assistant. Been very pedestrian post-Connor. What's next for J.J. McCarthy?
Continue to get better. I do think he'll have to play this year at some point. he's improved. I think when you look at, I read some of the reports, they said he's performed really well in the different kind of simulated scrimmages. So you got to keep doing that, and then just wait for your chance, and then make the most of it. That's the only thing you do. If you don't work, don't prepare, and then when you get a chance, you won't be. Then it's doubling down on the situation it is right now. And it's a hard thing to hard pill to swallow, being a first round pick, and you really have never really gotten a true chance to start and prove yourself. He knew or thought it was going to be a competition. It wasn't a competition. It was Kyler Murray's job to lose, and that's the reason Kyler Murray went there, and that's the only way it was. It was kind of like Justin Fields and Russell Wilson a couple of years ago, and it worked out for Justin Fields. He got some tape. He kind of was able to sit on the bench and learn. He got a big payday from the Jets, and so that worked out for him. Now he's at the Chiefs, and now he's in an even better situation, and if he gets a chance with Andy Reid's approval, he'll be right back on top, and that's what J.J. McCarthy has got to try to do. I think he has to show, unfortunately, he's forced to show maturity over maturity. So you have to be regular mature, like you should take it if you get beat out, and then you have to be even more based on who people have perceived you to be.
Based on your draft position, based on where you came from.
And just how you've been acting internally.
The J.J. McCarthy thing is going to be fascinating to monitor, because I do think he's more than just a product of Connor Stallions. Just like I think, let's say the 2017 Astros or the 2004 Patriots, whoever, are more than the cheating. And I'm not trying to say this to minimize, what may or may not have gone on, what we know and what we don't know, because sure, having more information than the other team that you gained illicitly certainly puts you in an advantage. But there's a reason.
And they had a great team, and he was good in college too.
He was good. He made some throws, that Cade McNamara wouldn't make, didn't make, or couldn't
throw. Yeah.
make. And so I think there's actually, a legitimate football player in there somewhere. But I think it's also fair to say we haven't seen as much from J.J. McCarthy, not just in the NFL, but also going back to their college careers. We saw more from Sam Darnold. We saw more from Jared Goff. We saw more from, dare I say, Josh Rosen.
Yeah.
In college. Two of those guys came back and bounced back and made plenty of money. One of those guys was, passed over for Kyler Murray in the very next draft. And so I don't think it's over for J.J. McCarthy by any means, but we do have, I think, a significantly smaller sample size of success dating back even to college than we do for other, recent, top-ish pick busts that turned it around like Darnold.
There's one place that he can go is obviously the Chargers, and he fits into what they do, and you never know. And so he it's not over for him. It's far from over.
Would the Colts be a flyer to take? If you're not comfortable with Riley Leonard, Anthony Richardson once out, would you do it if you're Shane Steichen?
Oh, for sure. If I'm JJ McCarthy, if I want to get up out of there, if my agent, I'm trying to get to somewhere where I can have a fresh start and, maybe get an opportunity and then really kind of latch on with a certain type of coordinator and really prove a lot of people wrong. And so, it's something that they're probably talking about right now. His agent is probably working on or thinking. Now, the Vikings aren't going to get rid of him, I don't think, but there's places he could go for sure. He does have some talent and potential. It's not probably at the number 9 pick, I think he was.
Yeah.
Probably not that. And then sure that, look, guys get, picked higher than they should. Some guys get picked lower. It's all about what he does with it right now. He'll have another opportunity to start. He was a first round pick for a certain reason. Some people liked his arm enough to have him up there. People liked his, moxie and being under Jim Harbaugh enough. People liked his alter ego, supposedly, or whatever it is that he gets into when it's time to win. Everything else that doesn't pertain to football, he has to address, and then the football will take care of itself. Places like the Colts, the Chargers, it used to be the Raiders. Baltimore, I would say, is a spot that if I'm him, I'm trying to get there. But
Green Bay?
Nah, well, sure. All these places it can go, you're going to have to be a backup, but then eventually you're going to get a chance. Then you have to make yourself viable. When you think about it, I know the Arizona Cardinals are going to be picking a quarterback next year, but look at Jacoby Brissett. He's bounced around from being the new shiny toy to going to be a backup, back to a starter, now to a backup. Now he's a starter, and he's kind of a placeholder. You just never know. The draft could get messed up, and you could be down there competing with Carson Beck. You are going to have to beat somebody out, and it's not your ability. You have to get out of your own way.
But I don't think he's going to beat anyone out Obviously, probably not this year or next year. I mean, if I'm JJ
No,
McCarthy,
not
I'm
this
looking
year.
for a place to go on the little like image rehab tour. Hey, he turned into a good teammate behind the scenes.
Yeah.
He worked out with the quarterback guru,
Go
a
to
head
Pittsburgh.
coach. Sure.
You go to Pittsburgh or
Why not?
somewhere like that, or get with a coach that has a long enough runway and their tenure is not in question, and you can do it. It might be a year or two, and you go. Look at Sam Darnold, man. I mean,
Yeah, took him a while.
right? Look at Daniel Jones. People thought like you, and then now look, he went and he learned and whatever. I mean, you could even look at, David Carr was the number one pick, but he was able to leave Houston and go to the Giants, kind of not rehab his image because he always a great person, a teammate,
Yeah.
but
His
learn some
football
things.
image. Yeah.
But then he went down to Carolina, and then was able to go there, and then he went back to the Giants. So it can definitely happen. It's just all about what he wants to get out of his career, and sometimes people have to realize your NFL shelf life as a starter sometimes comes to an end, and it has nothing to do with what you do on the field. And that's the hardest thing for competitors and athletes to come to terms with. You just never know why, and then you just can't get out. But if you can and are willing and have the opportunity to be a backup, a highly paid fan of the game, look at Chase Daniels.
Yeah, Blaine Gabbert.
Look at Johnson, the one that's played on 16 teams.
Josh
17,
Johnson.
Josh Johnson, 17 years.
Mm-hmm. There's a market for
Yeah,
you.
there's a market for it. But they don't want hard-headed teammates to be in that role.
Right.
That's why he has to address that first.
Over the next, let's call it 4 years, who'd rather have on your team, JJ McCarthy or Kenny Pickett?
I guess Kenny Pickett got a little bit better arm down the field.
All right.
But JJ McCarthy's a better athlete.
Kenny Pickett did that pretty sick fake slide, though, in the Peach Bowl.
Yeah, he did.
Don't sleep on Kenny Pickett now.
I'll just go Kenny Pickett. I mean, like I said, that's what type of diarrhea you want. So I'll just take Kenny Pickett.
But do you think JJ McCarthy can be better than Kenny Pickett?
Potentially, yeah. He
But
adds
will he?
more.
Because if he's just a backup, I'd rather have Kenny Pickett as a backup.
I don't think he will.
Moving on in the purple conversations, we'll just get through the football one and we'll save the basketball ones for next segment. Northwestern football, we mentioned at the top of the show, Jay, $35 million gift from the Liz and Dick Uline family set to come over the next 3 years. Pete Thamel says the donation is intended for holistic football success, including recruiting, support, and broader program needs. Here's some money. Go spend it on football. Knock yourselves out. In the new stadium, more resources now. That's what, 10, 11-ish, 11 and 2/4, 11 and 2/3, million per year, give or take. I like David Braun. It's still Northwestern, but can't say they're not trying.
Yeah, I mean, it's out of nowhere. So you just wonder, what holistic football is. And I'm sure they have a plan. I mean, wealthy people aren't going to donate that type of money, no matter how much wealth they have, if they don't believe in the plan and in the vision of Northwestern. Obviously, what they have, their new facility on the lakefront and all that, and new stadium on the rise, obviously it's appealing for some people to get involved in. But I think also, I think they, people up there like Braun. I think some of the moves he's made, look, he made a splash and got Chip Kelly to come over there and call play. So they view Northwestern as a sleeping giant. And, $35 million is equivalent to like 50 or 60, the other schools, because Northwestern is literally at zero. You get $35 million. It's like it is huge. Where like places like Texas A&M, that's just kind of what they do because of oil money. Whereas Northwestern was never, it was thought and assumed they were never invested in football. Now they got a huge, financial investment. And if they're able to get guys in school in that Chicago area in Illinois, and if you can recruit, it can really work out really well for Northwestern and still get back to that team that's always a hard out, viable opponent, and then obviously move up the rankings in the Big Ten.
What's Northwestern's ceiling in the college football playoff era team? Are they a once-in-a-decade playoff team, a once-in-a-quarter-century playoff team?
Once in a decade, once every 10 to 12 years. Now they can really be consistent and just always be knocking it out of 10 years. 5 or 6 years, they're kind of in the conversation, and then they break through because they got to, they'll have that, that special team they've had and a couple teams they've had after that. But if they're getting this type of donation over the next 3 years, it's like essentially $12 million a year. that can really open up a lot of things. I mean, recruiting, I'm sure they already have a recruiting budget, already set, but this could help out with hiring, more coaches. This could help with, pay for play. I know they say that you don't do it, but it could really help, foster some true NIL deals for these guys to the tune of $12 million. That means you get an extra $1 million a month to run your football program.
Yeah.
You can have, an advanced scout. You could have a couple of defenses. You could just do all types of stuff.
Advanced scout, Northwestern on that Connor Stallions plan?
No, it's just like you could have guys that, are, I guess, scouting and looking for guys in the portal, looking for guys that you potentially can pluck. You could obviously devil in the smart guys school pool, and you can get guys. Now you got more money maybe, or as much money as you need to compete with the Vanderbilt, Stanford, or whoever you want. You can really try to build your program.
Is Northwestern a math school? I mean, we hear all about the journalists and whatnot, but are they quants over there?
I don't know what they are. I know they got a lot of guys
school, but what are they
there.
Smart about?
A lot of broadcasters go from Northwestern.
That's what I'm saying.
I don't know what they're known for. I just know it's hard to get into.
Can't be that hard. You were in.
I was in. I think anybody's in your first year when you take general classes. I mean, they got Greek mythology up there. It's just a matter of I was going to be able to stay in.
You think they offer Greek mythology at Northwestern?
Yeah. Doesn't matter. I don't think that you would have the answers.
Oh, they got to. They've got to. Even these smart schools, there's got to be. There's still got to be somebody.
Stuff. I mean, I think in the smart schools, they have guys on campus that are really, really smart, holed up in like a little apartment, and they're like, "Yeah, give me your ID, and then I'll go in there and take the test for you."
Never see the light of day. Just busy taking tests for 18 hours a day.
Yeah, that would be my friend.
Eat, recharge the battery, and go from there. Speaking of recharging the batteries, Mark Walters' pockets got recharged. He just sold the Lakers for $12.5 billion.
And he just bought it, right?
After he just bought it.
For 10.
Did the Los Angeles Lakers just get flipped? How did that happen? And the Phoenix Suns owner, Matt Ishbia, might also be in a little bit of a sticky situation. Talk some NBA finance, continuing the purple hour, if you will, on Old School on Wednesday right after this.
You're listening to Old School with Jay Foreman and Austin Orman. Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Some moments deserve more than ordinary jewelry. At Sartor Heyman, we've helped Lincoln celebrate life's biggest occasions for over 120 years. With quality craftsmanship, timeless gifts, and diamonds you can see from across the room. From our exclusive Heartland collection to custom design pieces, every detail is made with care by experienced jewelers you can trust. Whether you're celebrating love, family, milestones, Sartor Heyman has a gift for every occasion in life.
Building a new home can be a challenge. A lot of big choices. With our Remington homes, we have designed 15 different floor plans that appeal to a wide range of people.
Bob Benish of Aspen Builders, talking about Remington Homes, which makes the home building process easier.
People really enjoy being able to go to our website, which is remingtonlincoln.com, pick a plan, pick a price point, go through and build it yourself. You have a lot of options, whether you want granite, painted trim, wood floors, more stone, all options with our Remington homes. People do not want to be married to their house payment. You're able to get what you really want in a home for a great price with very limited stress. And that's what Remington homes are all about.
Home building is easier with a Remington home from Aspen Builders at 423-6811. Online at remingtonlincoln.com. remingtonlincoln.com.
Husker fans know a strong game plan makes all the difference, no matter where they cheer from. The dedication fans bring every season is the same dedication that builds long-term financial success. That's why Emeritus connects fans across the country with financial professionals who can help them plan, prepare, and move toward their goals. As a proud partner of Husker Athletics, Emeritus supports fans in every corner of the country because great fans deserve a great future. Emeritus, fulfilling life, fueled by Husker pride. Go to emeritus.com/Husker Wealth for more information.
Sometimes good people make mistakes. When you find yourself in need of an attorney, call Liberty Law Group. The attorneys at Liberty Law Group will defend you in court and protect your freedom to get you the best possible outcome and the justice you deserve. Trust your freedom to Liberty Law Group, the best criminal attorneys in Nebraska and Iowa. Call them today at 877-404-5238. That's 877-404-5238. or check them out online at libertylawgroup.com.
If you like freedom and you like floors, ditch the box stores and shop Freedom Flooring. Find the best luxury vinyl, tile, hardwood, laminate, carpet, and experts at Freedom Flooring. Visit our showroom at 4815 South 14th Street in Lincoln. If you like freedom and you like floors, ditch the box stores and shop Freedom Flooring, a Shaw Floors dealer.
If the power is out, traffic lights may be too. If you come across a dark intersection, treat it like a four-way stop. Find more outage safety tips at les.com/safety.
Hey, Jake, you know what I love almost as much as the Big Red?
Big scores on the field?
Good guess, but nope.
Big spikes on the court?
Love those too, but I'm thinking food. Like those big, budget-friendly portions you find at Buzzard Billy's.
Now you're talking. I love Buzzard Billy's. I love the shrimp po' boys and the blackened chicken.
You almost always find me enjoying gumbo.
Big plays, big scores, big wins, Big Red. Yep, love them all, especially
those big portions that are budget-friendly. Only at Buzzard Billy's, A-Market.
You use your best defensive moves, but we're still in an accident. Trust the team at Eustace Body Shop to get you back in the game. The shop is factory certified, and their technicians have advanced training in most makes and models. There's no delay of game when they handle your insurance directly and warranty their work as long as you own your vehicle. And you're not going to miss a single play when you use their free loaner vehicles. Eustace Body Shop, where customers send their friends. Find a shop near you at eusticebodyshop.com.
Looking for something different for lunch or dinner in Lincoln? Big 8 is now open at 1226 P Street, serving seafood boils and Asian cuisine. Get your hands messy with fresh, flavorful seafood boils. Hot, bold, and made to share. Or enjoy classic Chinese and Asian dishes, perfect for lunch, dinner, or a night out with friends and family. Big flavors, generous portions, a brand new dining experience. Big 8, now open in Lincoln.
In every office, there's two types of people. There are those who bring in bagels and those who eat the bagels that someone else brought in. Everybody likes the first person. Be that first person. Weekday mornings at 7:30, you have a chance to win a business box of bagels from Bagels & Joe. All you have to do is shut up, Sipple. 2 questions for you, 2 for Sip. Win, and the bagels are yours. Lose, well, you don't want to lose.
You lost Monday, you lost Wednesday, you're a loser.
Shut up, Sipple. Weekday mornings at 7:30, brought to you by Bagels & Joe.
At Anderson Ford, we offer a 5-day return or exchange policy, so you can make sure the vehicle you choose is the best vehicle for you. No pressure. Right now, lease a 2026 Ford F-150 for $195 per month for 36 months. Experience better at Anderson Ford. Stock number 1009974. $195 per month lease for 36 months with approved credit. 7,500 miles per year. 10,000 due at signing. No security deposit required. Tax, title, and license fees extra. Residency restrictions apply. Program subject to change. Must take new retail delivery from Anderson Auto Group by 8/31/26.
Back to Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back in. It is Old School. Half an hour left to go on the show. Take to your noon lunch hour. Jay Foreman there, Austin Foreman here. To the NBA we go, talking about a couple teams in purple. And for once, it's not the Kings in trouble. I guess they're just kind of out of the way for now, which is actually probably better for the state of the Sacramento
It's not
Kings.
the Clippers and Kawhi?
It is not the Clippers and Kawhi, although red plus blue does indeed equal purple. But the timeline, Jay, Mark Walters having to sell the Lakers, maintaining his ownership of the Dodgers, but selling the Lakers. He bought them in June of 2025 for $10 billion from the Buss family. Back in July, the federal government apparently is probing into $16 billion in undisclosed loans for Mark Walters and his financial empire. And now he's selling the team to Josh Kushner and Bob Iger. Yes, that Bob Iger, whose name we've heard quite a bit, for an NBA record $12.5 billion. Bill Simmons tweets, Kushner and Iger weren't sure they could get the Vegas expansion team, so they pivoted to buying Walters' majority Lakers stake.
Yeah. And now you remember that was with the Dallas Mavericks and Luka and all the new ownership and wanted to move it to Vegas or potentially. So they were they already kind of passed the first step of being, viable options to be owners. And obviously there's not a better organization to buy. And in this day and age is the Lakers. You're going to make money on it. It's a blue blood franchise. It is interesting that the Walter flipped it that quick. Because you got to think, remember that when the Lakers were bought, that was kind of like almost the end of LeBron, and all that stuff. And now it has new owners, and obviously their franchise player is Luka. So it's just interesting. When I saw it, I kept looking at it like there's no way that the Lakers just were sold, but obviously there's other things that led to having to dump those or dump that asset, and it's a big one. And you made $2.5 billion on it. That's not a bad year and a half?
$2.5 billion over 14 months.
Yeah, that's a great investment, and it worked out real well for him.
It's just so wild to see the Los Angeles Lakers getting flipped, essentially. Now, when you're under federal investigation, you got to do what you got to do.
Yeah, and he probably wanted to get all his assets. I think it's just he wanted to get all his ducks in a row, and maybe he wasn't truly invested in it, and he had no idea to know that he was going to be $16 billion other dollars are going to be looked at. So,
but then why not sell the Dodgers too? Or you're taking the
Dodgers are winning.
Lakers are a playoff team.
Yeah, they ain't winning. The Dodgers are fun to own right now.
Oh yeah.
The Lakers are going to be horrible. And I don't think next year.
Define horrible.
Worse than this year, and they're going to be horrible. By Lakers standards.
Lakers standards, fine.
Austin.
Yes.
I know you think Luka's winning a championship. He is not going to win a championship.
Luka's my Justin Herbert.
He's not going to win a championship.
But I take that back.
I love Austin Reeves.
Mm-hmm.
He's not what they're paying for. And then the other three.
Luka will be failed before he does the failing.
Yeah, he's already been failed. He's failed right now. They have failed him. They need to bring LeBron back.
Luka is a championship.
With that mask that walked past
I did not. Give me a beat.
That's Rob Pelinka. He's going to meet the new owner in Vegas. But no, man, I just think that the Lakers are good. They're booty. I'm a Lakers fan. They just horrible.
But Luka has proven he can get a team to the NBA Finals. He did. And then he was outgunned by Boston.
Austin. Who else was on that team?
That Mavericks team? That was the PJ Washington, Daniel Gafford, Kyrie Irving was there as well.
Say that name.
Derek Lively. Derek Lively.
No. Kyrie Irving.
Kyrie Irving. But you're the Lakers. Go get another guard to pair with it.
You have no money. You saw
because you've made bad decisions. So make good decisions.
You can't. Rob Pelinka's in the building. It's
so fire him.
Listen, that manila envelope that he has, he either got on Genie Bus or somebody. He ain't going nowhere. He should have been.
Get him his job at Nike or something. I guess that's Nico Harrison, but give him an agent job. I don't know.
He was an agent.
You're the Lakers.
He was Kobe's best friend.
Yes. Rest in peace, Kobe, but he's gone. Rob Pelinka can disappear from the NBA too.
It's not happening. I'm sorry. Kushner and Eager, they got the Lakers now. Have fun with that.
They do.
Maybe they can get the Lakers club going again.
Maybe.
Maybe do that. You ain't winning nothing. You just already decided that. You decided a long time ago. You guys ain't trying to win.
I still think you can win a title with Luka as your best player. I still think you
PlayStation.
Can. I'm not saying he's going to, but
you can on PlayStation. You're not going to do it in the regular life. It's not happening. It will never happen. He doesn't even want to do it. He's not built like that. And he doesn't have the surrounding cast that even do that. It's over.
So he's pudgy Dan Marino.
Yeah, I guess.
He's going to put up the numbers.
Yeah, he's going to put up crazy numbers.
He's clearly a talented basketball player.
I'm never denying that. You know an interesting stat I wanted to bring to you?
Shoot it my way. What you got?
Okay, the year before Michael Jordan was drafted,
mm-hmm.
the Chicago Bulls, I think they either won 28 or 36 games. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So after his first year, guess how many games they won?
50-some?
The same amount.
Oof.
The year before LeBron James was drafted, the
mm-hmm.
Cleveland Cavaliers won 14. LeBron was 17 when he was drafted.
Mm-hmm.
What do you happen when he was 18 and he started playing?
They're going to cuss the playoffs, right?
Rest my case.
I'm with you on Bron. Okay.
I'm on your side.
I
was just doing it. I thought Harrison was back there.
Might be doing a recording.
Yeah, I turned the lights off on Harrison.
Bulls fan. Elsewhere in NBA purple, Matt Ishbia and the Phoenix Suns. The headline of the article: America's mortgage king lost $600 million and needed rescue. Matt Ishbia made a fortune by running the largest mortgage lender in the country. He used his wealth to buy the NBA's Phoenix Suns for $4 billion in cash. He's in big trouble now. It could affect the team in the immediate term. Matt Ishbia saw his net worth drop, according to Forbes, from $9.1 billion to $5.8 billion.
That's tough.
Just poof.
That's tough.
Gone.
I mean, you're still a billionaire, but you walking around with your tail between your legs.
You know who else that affects?
Oh, Devin Booker.
Tom Izzo in Michigan State.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, it affects a lot of people. But was he the owner that was messing with Sophie Cunningham?
No. That was, I think that was Sarver, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I think.
Phoenix is doing a lot. They doing a lot of stuff down there.
Yeah, too much.
It's just the Phoenix Suns. I remember when they had like Tom Chambers and all those guys.
Mm-hmm.
Fitzsimmons was a coach. They were great, but it's like they had that NBA run or the finals run, and then it was after that. It was like, all right, that was fun. All right, we're done.
That's it.
We're just gonna just make bad move after bad move. We're gonna trade for Bradley Beal, have him come off the bench, have it. He essentially is a older version of Devin Booker.
Mm-hmm.
And that wasn't going to work. You had KD, and then that just is kind of bootleg. Now it's like,
but hey, at least you drafted DeAndre Ayton.
Yeah, now he's who knows where he's at. And
Isn't he back in LA? I think they re-signed him, didn't they?
Probably. DeAndre Ayton's best.
You sound a little excited about that.
His best attribute is dancing in the locker room.
Oh no, he went to Washington.
Yeah, that's right.
I forgot about that.
His best attribute is dancing in the locker room.
Thought he was getting snowed in.
He just didn't want to go to practice. I ain't never
Can
seen
you blame the guy?
This dude said there's too much ice on the road in Portland.
Portland.
I didn't know that they were going to have ice on the road. I'll see you tomorrow. Just send me a video of the shoot around. I
can do body weight stuff at home.
Yeah. He slept in. He was curled up, had the little fireplace on. But yeah, I mean that stuff with these owners, they make the money, and then obviously the way that they're able to make it at the magnitude he is, obviously, yeah, obviously you got to be checks and balances.
Mm-hmm.
And look, even go back to look at with Jordan and the selling of the Hornets, where they called in like $500 million or whatever, and he kind of got duped by some hedge fund guys in Chicago. Now they're the owners; they don't have no business owning the team. They just kind of bully their way in it. Look, it's tough. I mean, for him to lose half his fortune and still be a billionaire, he might try to sell his stake in the team and make some of that back and go back to doing what he does best, which is mortgages. But the rate.
But he just lost like $27.5 billion.
I thought you said it was 5.
So okay,
it went from 9.1 to 5 point something. That's $4 billion.
Well, that's his net worth. This is from the Wall Street Journal here, and from Hunter Brook Media. America's largest mortgage lender made a giant $27.5 billion bet that interest rates would go down. That bet failed last week. UWMC suspended its dividend and signed an emergency rescue with the Distressed Situations Desk at Oaktree.
So his company. Yeah,
yes.
But he lost $4 billion,
Mm-hmm.
which is bad. That's a double.
It's a lot of bennies to wipe those tears with.
So you better think about selling the team and get that money back,
mm-hmm.
or start running that organization good enough to where you can be viable and kind of concentrate on that, and then sell it in 10 years, and you'll make your money back.
Sure ought to. I still think it's a wild world that teams in purple are in distress, and it's not the Sacramento Kings. How close are they to Portland in the irrelevancy wasteland rankings?
Phoenix?
Sacramento.
Oh, they're worse. It's between them and Portland. You get shipped there, it's over. It's like it's over. That's like, to be honest with you, I remember after I broke my leg in Houston, so that was year 7, and I knew, and I had a former teammate. His name is Junior Ione, and he was cool, man. He's bringing his like ukulele, a big old dude, do that. He was pretty cool, and he had played for the Raiders, and he had told me about how they do business. So my agent was good. And he's like, when you go like to places like the Raiders, they think that's the end. He's like, but we're going to make sure you get something for going there. Right? So I went there. I got a little, I got, broke off a little bit. And I was coming off an injury or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But I could kind of sense that it was not going to work out well. I think I left after 3 weeks. Ooh. Check in hand.
There you go. You got essentially a workout
because
bonus?
I knew if you're there, it's over. When you think about Warren Sapp, when he went there, he talked about his time. Randy Moss, all those guys, it's the same. It used to be the Phoenix Cardinals, Simeon Rice and all those guys, right?
Sure.
You just a wasteland. That's what Sacramento's like. Unfortunately. But they're crazy when they're good. When they had Steve Webb in it, it's like,
oh, yeah.
And then I don't understand what Vlade Divac is doing sometimes.
I don't know if Vlade understands what Vlade's doing.
You had Mike Brown.
You had Mike Brown. You had Tyrese Halliburton.
Yeah.
And DeMontis Sabonis.
Yeah.
You had De'Aaron Fox.
You are like the Montreal Expos. You bring in good players. You don't pay them, or somehow you ship them out and they go other places, end up winning championships or go to Hall of Fame. That's who they are. And the Montreal Expos just couldn't compete financially. So it's not even them. You're really like the Arizona Cardinals. Simeon Rice and everybody to be down there, and they go and and Simeon Rice should
Emmitt
Smith. But Simeon Rice was homegrown. He should be in the Hall of Fame.
Oh, I was saying more the opposite, the retirement end of the career, but
it's two ways. You either go there and get that last little golden parachute, like Emmett, or you leave there because they don't want to pay you and you end up going on to bigger and better things.
Yeah. The exception to that would be Carson Palmer.
Yeah. Well, they had that little run there when they had the Phoenix.
Arians, Fitzgerald,
right?
Anquan Bolden,
Kurt Warner.
Yeah.
They brought it, and they was like, then they was like, that winning stuff that took a little too much effort. Losing and being the Cardinals, we like this a lot better.
We were familiar
exactly
with this.
who we are. That's what Mike Brown and Cincinnati struggling with right now.
Yeah,
like, man, this winning stuff is hard. We actually got to pay players. We got to give them. We got to contemplate giving them breakfast. We got to get a nutritionist in here and pay them a full time. Hey, then he's like, we actually got to get a scouting staff. Mike Brown and them, their sphincter muscles tight. They don't like this.
It couldn't be us.
Yeah, they like Joe Burrow. They're waiting for Joe Burrow.
But we can't sell the team either.
They're waiting for Joe Burrow to come in and say, man, we're requesting a trade. Joe Burrow is from Ohio. He's like, I like this. So he's like,
Cleveland Browns quarterback Joe Burrow.
Oh no, you can't do that. Now Cleveland is the wasteland, unfortunately, and I hate it because Cleveland is a great
should be a great sports town.
It is. I mean, when I played there, when we went and played Cleveland, that dog pound is for real. Like them dog biscuits, they're there and in the they throw it on the field. I mean, you play it. It has the Cleveland but dang, I mean. You starting Deshaun Watson because you paid him and nobody's going to take that $40 million. Shador's better than him, but you're starting this dude. You got the coach saying, yeah, Shador's going to go with the ones. Psych.
Return on investment should not be measured on a per snap basis.
But you got to. That's what I always talk about. Like in the league, a lot of times it's not about what happens on the field. It's something else.
Yeah.
And those are the wasteland teams because the teams that are winning is not happening. You don't see it in Philly. You don't see it in Kansas City, not to this magnitude all the time.
Yeah.
Cleveland's going Cleveland. And it's still questionable with the Raiders right now. With the number one pick. Right? It's still questionable.
Yeah.
Mendoza, we'll see.
Miami's kind of wastelandish.
Right now, yeah. Right now, they're trying to figure it out.
Carolina they're trying to figure it out.
They're trying to come back.
New Orleans they figured it out for a run.
They figured it out, and then they seem to be on the uptick, but they haven't changed.
Jacksonville?
They're figuring it out. And New Orleans hasn't changed their owner and GM yet. And so they're kind of they're always kind of get back right.
Yeah.
Once they got it and they got that winning feeling, Tampa's got that winning feeling. They used to be a wasteland.
It's possible.
You don't want to be there, man. That's tough.
You do not.
Yeah.
We ran down the Christmas Day slate yesterday, Jay. I'm sure you saw it, the NBA and the NFL. Let's do it again. Get your picks for what you're watching on Christmas Day. Coming up with our lunchtime lineup on Old School.
Watch Old School live on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Hey, Jake, you know what I love almost as much as the Big Red?
Big scores on the field?
Good guess, but nope.
Big spikes on the court?
I love those too, but I'm thinking food. Like those big, budget-friendly portions you find at Buzzard Billy's.
Now you're talking. I love Buzzard Billy's. I love the shrimp po' boys and the blackened chicken.
You almost always find me enjoying gumbo.
Big plays, big scores, big wins, big red. Yep, love them all, especially
those big portions that are budget-friendly. Only at Buzzard Billy's, A-Market. thinking.
In every office, there's two types of people. There are those who bring in bagels and those who eat the bagels that someone else brought in. Everybody likes the first person. Be that first person. Weekday mornings at 7:30, you have a chance to win a business box of bagels from Bagels & Joe. All you have to do is shut up, Sipple. 2 questions for you, 2 for Sip. Win, and the bagels are yours. Lose, well, you don't want to lose.
You lost Monday. You lost Wednesday. You're a loser.
Shut up, Sipple. Weekday mornings at 7:30, brought to you by Bagels & Joe.
Building a new home can be a challenge. A lot of big choices. With our Remington homes, we have designed 15 different floor plans that appeal to a wide range of people.
Bob Benish of Aspen Builders, talking about Remington Homes, which makes the home building process easier.
People really enjoy being able to go to our website, which is remingtonlincoln.com, pick a plan, pick a price point, go through and build it yourself. You have a lot of options, whether you want granite, painted trim, wood floors, more stone, all options with our Remington homes. People do not want to be married to their house payment. You're able to get what you really want in a home for a great price with very limited stress. And that's what Remington homes are all about.
Home building is easier with a Remington home from Aspen Builders at 423-6811. Online at remingtonlincoln.com. remingtonlincoln.com.
At Schwezo Construction, safety isn't just a policy, it's a promise. Build with us. Work safe, go home proud. We're hiring skilled craftsmen, laborers, concrete workers, and steel erectors who value quality work and a team that has your back on and off the job site. If you're ready to be part of a company where your safety and success come first, visit Schwezo.com. That's SCHWISOW.com and apply today. Schwezo Construction, 40 years strong and still building the future.
If you like freedom and you like floors, ditch the box stores and shop Freedom Flooring. Find the best luxury vinyl, tile, hardwood, laminate, carpet, and experts at Freedom Flooring. Visit our showroom at 4815 South 14th Street in Lincoln. If you like freedom and you like floors, ditch the box stores and shop Freedom Flooring, a Shaw Floors dealer.
Sometimes good people make mistakes. When you find yourself in need of an attorney, call Liberty Law Group. The attorneys at Liberty Law Group will defend you in court and protect your freedom to get you the best possible outcome and the justice you deserve. Trust your freedom to Liberty Law Group, the best criminal attorneys in Nebraska and Iowa. Call them today at 877-404-5238. That's 877-404-5238. Or check them out online at libertylawgroup.com.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
Looking for a fun way to give back? Join us for the 2026 Kicks for Kids Nebraska Fun Run Walk, presented by Pinnacle Bank, on Saturday, August 22nd at James Arthur Vineyard. Enjoy a scenic 5K through beautiful grounds. Every step helps provide shoes to kids in Lincoln and Lancaster County schools, with options for adults, wine included, and kids. Registration fees include a t-shirt, medal, and bag. Sign up today and make a difference at kicksforkidsnebraska.org.
At Anderson Ford, we offer a 5-day return or exchange policy, so you can make sure the vehicle you choose is the best vehicle for you. No pressure. Right now, lease a 2026 Ford F-150 for $195 per month for 36 months. Experience better at Anderson Ford. Stock number 1009974, $195 per month, lease for 36 months with approved credit, 7,500 miles per year, 10,000 due at signing, no security deposit required, tax, title, and license fees extra, residency restrictions apply. Program subject to change. Must take new retail delivery from Anderson Auto Group by 8/31/26.
If the power is out, traffic lights may be too. If you come across a dark intersection, treat it like a 4-way stop. Find more outage safety tips at les.com/safety.
You use your best defensive moves, but we're still in an accident. Trust the team at Eustace Body Shop to get you back in the game. The shop is factory certified, and their technicians have advanced training in most makes and models. There's no delay of game when they handle your insurance directly and warranty their work as long as you own your vehicle. And you're not going to miss a single play when you use their free loaner vehicles. Eustace Body Shop, where customers send their friends. Find a shop near you at EustaceBodyShop.com.
Back to Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back in as we put a bow on another Wednesday of Old School. He's Jay Foreman. I'm Austin Foreman. Appreciate everyone who's dialed up the show today. Been a great day of involvement from you on our Starter Heyman Jewelers text line. Jay, we got some news, some announcements from the NBA on the opening day slate, and of course the Christmas Day slate. And so the full NFL triple header and NBA quintuple header lineup is this. I want you to pick your top 3 events that you're watching. Noon, Spurs, Knicks. 1 o'clock, Packers, Bears. 2:30, Heat, Celtics. 4:30, Bills, Broncos. 5 o'clock, Sixers, Lakers. 8 o'clock, Thunder, Timberwolves. 8:15, Rams, Seahawks. And 10:30, Nuggets, Warriors.
The 2 football games, the 76ers.
Yeah, 3 football games.
Well, I'm watching the first 2 football games.
Okay. Not Rams, Seahawks?
No.
You're out by then?
I'll probably sleep by then.
Fair enough. Okay.
All
right.
I would go, and then I'm obviously watching the 76ers, watching Brown.
Okay.
And then I will watch the Rams, Seahawks, and the Nuggets, Warriors. But there's no like Nuggets, Warriors isn't exciting anymore.
No.
So I'll probably be asleep by then.
Do you think the Warriors got a Christmas game in preparation for a Steph retirement?
I don't think he's gonna. No, I just think they still have cachet because they have Steph, and they still draw eyes and Joker and all that, and they got Bloodline over there.
I suppose. The late games are wildly intriguing to me. Spurs Knicks championship rematch, sure, fine, I'll watch. But Heat Celtics, I know it's Giannis versus Celtics, but Heat Celtics doesn't move me. Maybe it moves the East Coast more than me. Bills Broncos playoffs rematch, that's good. Packers Bears, obviously a rivalry, but Rams Seahawks is the NFL game of the day there.
Yeah.
And I get they have to do it's West Coast, but
yeah, it's going to be the most competitive game. Their playoff game was pretty dang good.
Oh, all 3 of their games.
Yeah,
were.
but the playoff game with stuff on the line, I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Last thing, then we'll get out of here for the day. CBS Sports put out its 138 team power rankings in college football. Nebraska, Jay, lands at number 33. Directly between Auburn and Kansas State in the Big Ten. Nebraska 7 spots ahead of Minnesota, 9 spots ahead of UCLA. Other Big Ten teams in that range, Northwestern at 48, Maryland at 52.
I like it. I mean, it's not the. I mean, obviously, you'd like to be in the top 25, but Nebraska's probably right where they should be and maybe deserve to be based on last year. Now you're able to level up. I mean, Nebraska's in a position with the way the schedule's set up. There's a ton of opportunity. So you talking about just is skyrocketing up there if they handle their business.
Teams between Nebraska and the preseason top 25 in the 138 power rankings: Auburn, TCU, Arizona, Illinois, South Carolina, Clemson, Houston. Then Louisville comes in at 25.
Gettable.
Oh, yeah.
And considering what the pattern has been for those teams. Houston's a sneaky good team. Willie Fritz has done a good job. But everybody else, Auburn is new, new regime and all that. So, it's not like the Auburn of old. So Nebraska handles their business. There's a ton of opportunity. Instead of looking at it as a hard schedule, it's a great opportunity to really, really level up.
0159 says top 50 is not bad, but could be higher. Hey, that's what fall camp's for. Play yourself higher, and then once the games start, you prove that record. But yeah, certainly attainable for Nebraska entering year 4 of Matt Rule. Plenty more to get to in Nebraska football fall camp coming up the next 2 days of shows. Jay Foreman there, Austin Orman here, and all over Lincoln in the Midwest, Graham Tire, celebrating 75 years of serving the Midwest. More than just tires, they do all kinds of car and light truck repairs too. From brakes to oil changes, trust Graham Tire for service you can count on. It's Graham Tire getting you to the places that matter most. We'll be back with you tomorrow at 9. Talk to you then.
Looking for something different for lunch or dinner in Lincoln? Big 8 is now open at 1226 P Street, serving seafood boils and Asian cuisine. Get your hands messy with fresh, flavorful seafood boils. Hot, bold, and made to share. Or enjoy classic Chinese and Asian dishes, perfect for lunch, dinner, or a night out with friends and family. Big flavors, generous portions, a brand new dining experience. Big 8, now open in Lincoln.
At Anderson Ford, we offer a 5-day return or exchange policy, so you can make sure the vehicle you choose is the best vehicle for you. No pressure. Right now, lease a 2026 Ford F-150 for $195 per month for 36 months. Experience better at Anderson Ford. Stock number 1009974. $195 per month lease for 36 months with approved credit. 7,500 miles per year. 10,000 due at signing. No security deposit required. Tax, title, and license fees expert. Residency restrictions apply. Program subject to change. Must take new retail delivery from Anderson Auto Group by 8/31/26.
At Schwezo Construction, safety isn't just a policy, it's a promise. Build with us. Work safe, go home proud. We're hiring skilled craftsmen, laborers, concrete workers, and steel erectors who value quality work and a team that has your back on and off the job site. If you're ready to be part of a company where your safety and success come first, visit Schwezo.com. That's SCHWISOW.com and apply today. Schwezo Construction, 40 years strong and still building the future.
Hey Husker Nation, this is Todd Euler, two-time national champion with Window World Lincoln. Are you ready to transform your home? We offer exceptional replacement windows, doors, siding, and roofing that will elevate your home's curb appeal and value. As a nationally known, locally owned business, we treat you like family and work tirelessly to deliver the best for less. Don't wait to give your home the upgrade it deserves. Contact Window World Lincoln today at 464-7313 or check out windowworldlincoln.com. Let's make your home the talk of the neighborhood.
Sometimes good people make mistakes. When you find yourself in need of an attorney, call Liberty Law Group. The attorneys at Liberty Law Group will defend you in court